Right, guys, I'm just trying to get everyone online here. Let's see. See if that works. We'll be ready in a few seconds, guys. Ah, okay. Hey, Toto.
Hey.
Hey, how do I get the third person in Discord?
The easiest solution would be to use, let me think. Probably either if you have a group flight channel on your server, or we can use one on ours.
Yeah, let's go to one of yours.
Sure. Group flight 3 or 4. Just click
Yeah.
on there, and we'll be there.
Okay. All right, there we go.
Testing, and I'll invite AJ as well.
Perfect. Right, so hello everyone. Yeah, so we're just getting everything set up. We are already connected in shared flight. Here he is, that's AJ. We're just waiting for the voice connection. And then we are... There he is. Hello, AJ.
Hey, BB. I see the Toto must be here as well.
Yeah.
I'm listening in.
Excellent.
Right, cool. So thank you so much, AJ, for joining on such a short notice. And on a fairly interesting but also complex topic regarding de-icing and anti-icing and threats coming from iced-up aircraft. And so what I would suggest to do is that we'll just go ahead, order some fuel, and then get out to the aircraft.
Welcome to Hotstart flight support.
And see what it looks like.
How can we help you today?
Sounds like a plan. Glad to be here. I couldn't think of any better idea than to do a last-minute flight with no planning from Jackson Hole to Telluride with a Challenger. Absolutely.
What could possibly
Glad to
go
be
wrong?
here. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Right. So
That's how we start out our briefings.
Of course, Captain.
Exactly.
I'll get that organized for
All
you
right. So we
away.
ordered the fuel truck. AJ, would you like to quickly introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yeah, so I'm AJ. I fly one of these things in real life, and I've been hanging out over in the Hotstart Discord for a while, and what Toto and the Hotstart team have put together here have been absolutely amazing. I've been enjoying it, trying to provide some feedback, and been having a lot of fun in the process.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining. Right, so we come to the aircraft, and we can see right now, I'm going to go just check the flight conditions, make sure that we're on live weather. So download the real weather. And Toto, you mentioned earlier on my previous stream that you have programmed the add-ons so that it looks at 24 hours of the last METARs.
That is correct, yes.
And then it will apply that weather to the aircraft.
Yeah, it basically fast forwards through the history of the weather at your location and simulates what would have happened to the airplane if it had been sitting on the ramp for the entire time.
Yeah. So currently, if we have a look at the actual weather right now in Jackson Hole, METAR, KJAC. So currently we have -8 degrees Celsius. There's no precipitation, but I know that earlier on there was snowfall. So looking at the stream total, what would you say is the contamination that we currently have on the wing?
Yeah, you have residual ice and snow on the surfaces, so at least type 1 for sure. If you want to you can do type 4 as well.
Okay. So with my real knowledge, if my Airbus was in this condition, obviously I'd also have a look at the fuselage to see if there's any residual snow, slush, etc., ice on there as well. Checking the landing gear as well for any ice build up down there below the wing, and on top of the wing, obviously, If there isn't any more precipitation prevailing, and I don't expect anything to happen until we lift off, then a one-step will do to get rid of the contaminants. And then according to the current conditions, if it's like minus 8 degrees, that definitely would be quite a strong frost. I would go with anti-icing as well to make sure that we have some protection until we get airborne.
Yeah, so in our model, you have the option of going either single step, that would be type 1, or two-step. You have an option of type 1 plus 2, or type 1 and 4.
Okay. In real life, these days, I mean, there's airports, obviously, that only have type 2. But if the airport has type 4, they normally go type 1 for the de-icing and type 4 anti-icing. They don't mess about anymore with type 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
in 17 years, I've never seen type 2 or applied type 2. We're pretty much type 1, type 4 over here, US based.
Yeah, so that's why. Well, it seems to be more common these days. I remember that a couple of years back, obviously the type 4 de-icing trucks were very expensive. They probably still are, but the problem is that the type 4 fluid is very susceptible to shearing. So they need very special, expensive pumps to spray that onto the aircraft. But I guess these days, either the trucks have become cheaper or the fluid isn't so sensitive anymore. But yeah, type 4 is definitely the type that you have or come across most often. Yeah, GiftSec, yeah, we're doing shared flight. And the main focus obviously is the icing part, and we are going to be able to go through a little file that gives us some good information regarding the hazards that come with icing here in the Challenger. And I mean, just looking at the aircraft from the outside right now, with the kind of high-mounted engines at the rear of the aircraft, that obviously is a different threat already compared to under the wing-mounted engines. So that's the first thing I already see being different. But we'll go through that file, and we'll talk about the specifics here in the Challenger. When you buy a Challenger 650, you have shared flight. Yes, it is. That's already in. That's a cool thing. It works in an absolutely fantastic manner. So just to give you an idea, AJ and me never flew shared flight before. And across the world, we just connect it like this. Very simple, very stable. And it comes with the Challenger.
Easy. There's not a lot of work to implement it. It's absolutely marvelous.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yes, one has XP12, the other one 11. You can still connect terrain ahead. Yeah. Okay, so AJ, I'm sure you know the Challenger cockpit inside out.
I hope so.
So which side would you be sitting on then?
I'm a guest. I'll gladly sit in the right seat, BB.
Okay, roger that. So if you like, you can already go in and start preparing the aircraft inside, and I'll do the...
Absolutely.
the
do we need to
checks.
take our shoes off on your airplane? Is your maintenance crew sensitive to that?
We've got rubber mats installed, so you get to leave your shoes on.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent.
Right. So...
Yeah, I remember that from one of our other consultant pilots. He had the airplane in the hangar, and they had just freshly cleaned the carpets in the airplane. So every time he had to go in to do something in the airplane, he had to take his shoes off and just run around in socks in the airplane.
Oh man, then you really need to make sure that you know exactly what you want to do, and then not having to go outside too often.
It's pretty common. It depends on the operator, but I've worked for both variants. Our current airframe, we don't take our shoes off, but you have airplanes with white carpets, then sensitive maintenance folks, you certainly put booties on or take your shoes off.
Yeah. Oh, I never thought about that. How do you get those Minecraft? Well, the idea is with the Minecraft character is that you visually see someone flying with you, and it's difficult to explain how important it is to actually have that. So once you've experienced that, you understand how much better it is to actually see someone physically inside that shared flight cockpit compared to, let's say in the tow list with the shared flight app. And so Minecraft obviously kind of character is in order to save some FPS.
There's a new feature in Beta 6. AJ can show you.
Yeah, once
To help with that.
you're up here with me. Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So we have a laser pointer. So we can highlight.
Oh,
what
look at
I'm
that.
talking
Yeah.
about.
How cool is that?
Or you could chase it around
Yeah.
the airplane.
Yeah. Like a mouse, a cat, yeah.
Yeah, and it's bindable. You could assign it to a keybind or one of your controllers. So I just I bound it to the Z key on my keyboard. I found something that was unoccupied really quick.
Really cool. So that way, when you're flying along with someone that's a lot more knowledgeable than you, and you're trying to find your way around a cockpit, that laser pointer quickly shows you where you're supposed to look at.
That was
Yeah, I found on streams that sometimes I'm moving around with my mouse, but the audience isn't really keyed in on what I'm doing. So that's a big help. I think that's a great feature.
Absolutely.
it was a feature request from one of our consultant pilots who was using it actually who's using our airplane to train new pilots at his company, and he's like, I'd want to be able to point at stuff like that's what we do in the real airplane. I have a laser pointer and I point at stuff, and I'm like, okay, we'll implement that.
Cool. So now, AJ, so you just simply have that on, and then whenever you, throw some button switches, it'll hide.
It follows it follows AJ's mouse, and it projects in your position as well, so that you'd see exactly what he's pointing at with his mouse.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now I came up and I set the pressurization controller to the departure airport elevation.
Yeah.
And I set the current altimeter settings, so that's what I'm doing up here now.
Yeah.
And then when I'm not using the laser pointer, I'll be nice to everybody's eyes, and I will turn it off.
Perfect. Yep. Terrain ahead. It's Totoritko who developed this. Yeah, go ahead, AJ. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, BB, is the outside pre-flight complete, covers pins, and where to point where you want me to fire this thing up, or what do we do?
If you would fire it up and then get the nose gear doors open. Well, I think they are open, but just so they're not closing while I'm in there.
Sure. The circuit breakers behind you look good. If you could just verify behind me they're good, since you have a better shot at them.
Okay.
They look good. They look good.
Let me just get up out of my seat here. And hold on. Yep. Good on your side as well. Well, happy you can do both. I mean, if you can call the FBO in the Challenger and get ground power as well. Right,
well, typically we run the APU, so I think we could just use the APU. I think we're fine with that.
Yep. So even after landing, that's fine. Okay. So just checking now, all the pins removed. So while AJ is firing up the aircraft inside, let me just quickly then go through the first page here that's interesting regarding Challenger and good operational procedure. So viewers can see that PDF as well. So respecting the AFM limitations and following recommended practices minimizes the hazard to your aircraft, and so ensure all critical surfaces are free of contamination. So pay particular attention to the wing leading edge. De-ice the aircraft if in any doubt. I actually had that situation this morning where my first officer said to me he thinks that we do not need de-icing. But I checked the aircraft and I was not 100% sure if on the wings we had some just another sound down here, some residual slush on the stabilizer and wings. So we made the safest call. I mean, even if that does cost the company some money, but we made the safest call and just ordered the icing. And that's why it says, if in doubt, de-ice the aircraft. It's that simple. And then follow recommended holdover time for any fluids applied. And mention that on my streams, we have obviously holdover time tables for standard fluids, but also for brand name fluids, which usually have a little bit longer holdover times. Question is from Java, do they not have restrictions on running the APU pre-departure? Well, I mean, in Europe there are some airports that are very noise sensitive, yes. Yeah, usually maybe it's a bit different with private jets, I'm not sure.
Typically, you're not going to find many APU restrictions here in the States. There are exceptions. There are some airports that will have them, but typically not.
Okay. So if I look at the aircraft, I would definitely say that we have some contamination on the wings that we need to take care of. Just a little bit of frost maybe below, but nothing we have to remove. Fuselage, I would say we don't need to de-ice. The windows and the pitot, statics, alpha vanes, etc., they will get de-iced by their own heating mechanism. Hey, Quas, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, we'll have to stabilize, obviously, rudder de-ice as well. So, and then we should be good. Alright, all pins, covers removed, chocks are still in place, but the rest is done. Perfect.
Very good. Typically at this point you would show me the pins and I would verify that I see the correct number of pins.
Cool. Yeah. So taking no chances whatsoever.
Well, I've been a part of an organization that's flown with pins in before, and it's not a pleasant thing to explain when you come right back.
Yeah, I mean, that's happened to Airbus pilots as well. Not me, but
Yeah.
you do hear that from time to time.
Yeah, nobody goes to work in the morning with the intent of making that kind of a mistake, but
Yeah.
they do get made, so they put things in place so that we aren't as prone to making them.
Yep, exactly. So big shout outs to Danny, Captain Briz, hey Eric, hello, Gabriel, hello, Simprix, and John Mark. Hello to you as well. Pancake King, Le Capitano.
Pancake is a legend. Welcome, Pancake. Glad you
Fantastic.
could make it.
Yeah. And Le Capitano asks, is there a commercial version of the Challenger, or is that consultant pilot using the same thing like us?
Same thing as
I'm-
you guys are.
Yeah, same thing, a Beta 6. That's what I'm flying, or the release version.
There we go. So regarding hazards with icing, oh, there we go.
Hello,
Hotstart.
Captain. It's Jenny from Hotstart Flight Support. Your passengers have arrived. Shall I have them brought to the plane?
Yeah, we'll have the passengers. Actually, what's a fuel truck here already?
I'm not seeing it. I don't know if he's here, but let me get the
Understood.
panel on.
Just call me when you're ready to receive
Did you
them.
call him?
Anything else?
Well, I did order them. Request
Of
refueling.
course. I'll have that over with you in a minute
Um,
or two. Anything else?
Check to make sure you got the beacon light off.
The beacon is off.
Always a
Okay.
pleasure. Take care.
There's a way to check if you go to Challenger 650 Ground Services, and there's a menu on the bottom that says Show Ground Service Status, and they'll tell you when and what is coming.
Sorry, Tori, you need to repeat that. I was just switching to kilograms.
Sure. The PDF is still out,
Yeah,
by the way,
yeah,
on the stream.
thank you.
And so in the Challenger 650 menu under Ground Services, if you bring that up, and there's going to be a menu item on the very bottom that says Show Ground Service Status, or Show Service Status.
There we go. So
Okay,
fuel.
fuel's coming up in 40 seconds.
Yeah. Perfect. Cool. Okay. Right. So regarding rotation technique, it says maximum of 3 degrees per second pitch rate. Trim set appropriate for the aircraft CG. And then follow the limitations requiring the use of wing anti-ice. So the question would be here from my side. On the A320, wing anti-ice on the ground doesn't work. It only has a 30-second test cycle and then closes the valves. You can select it, but it will remain closed. The valves remain closed until you have liftoff. So how would that work here in the Challenger?
BB, what's the question again? What the requirement is, or how?
No, how would
it
you,
works?
procedure-wise, how would you use wing anti-ice here in the Challenger on the ground?
Once the engines are started and the 14-stage valves are open, not considering the supplemental ground wing anti-ice that you see in the center right here, you can just go ahead and select it on with both engines running, and the wings will come up to temperature, as will the cowls.
Okay. So, because the argument is obviously that on the ground you don't really need wing anti-ice because you're usually de-icing the aircraft. So you have anti-icing fluid that prevents ice buildup until you've lifted off.
So
and then
if Type 4 is applied, there is a limitation that we will not turn on the wings until takeoff. In the Challenger community, because of this presentation and some of the issues they've had, even if the temperature is less than 5 degrees and it's a clear day and there's no precip or contamination, we're going to heat up our wings for final taxi.
Okay.
And we're provided we haven't applied Type 4, because the Type 4, as you know, can coke and bake onto the leading edges. That's why that limitation is there.
Yeah, exactly.
But today, since we're going to do one-step Type 1, and we don't have Type 4 on the wings, then I don't have that limitation. And for final taxi, I would want to heat the wings up, see that they're green, and then as long as both of us have the required training, which let's assume that we have the winter ops training, we do not need to take off if there's no precip or contamination in the environment.
Okay. So I need Toto's help again. So I want to fuel up another, let's put 1,500 kilograms, so 1,500 kilograms in gallons.
Okay, give me a sec. Call it 500 gallons.
Roger.
All right, I'm gonna go start up the
So AJ has opened the fuel valves already. Thank you. Perfect.
Yeah, we should be all set, provided the door is unlocked.
Just have a go. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Cool. So I'll get the flight plan.
It's under flight plan recall. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So we are at Jackson Hole. Destination is Telluride.
Easy flight today.
Well, the weather is. I think.
Tell you, yeah.
Yeah, the weather
Telluride's
is good.
always easy.
So,
I think it's a great idea, first flight, to bounce down to Telluride to a 9,000-foot elevation airport with a little bit of a tailwind. I can't wait to see the performance numbers. This should be fun.
The only thing I'm doing that is because I saw a good friend, Citation Max, post a video where he flew in real life to Telluride.
I was just watching Max last night on one of his streams, a sunrise flight from White Plains. So
Yeah.
I enjoy watching Max's flights.
Oh, he's brilliant. I love his professionalism and the way he just approaches that in his.
One thing that impresses me about him is his radio work is very good, and he presents very well, and I do enjoy his stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sec flight plan now, BB.
Sorry, say again, Toto?
Sec flight plan.
Is it already
and,
loaded? Okay.
Yes, it's
Okay, I need
DL
to.
flight plan loaded.
Yeah, I need to up the volume again and explain. So activate, execute.
Maybe you can manage the fuel today because the math is tough for me, so I'm used to pounds. So
Yeah,
I'll let you guys figure out if we're gonna get there with enough.
yeah, I will take on that responsibility.
Okay.
I added some extra, so and Toto said here in corporate you just you fuel, you're not stingy with the fuel like we airline pilots are.
We want to look at performance data for landing in Telluride before I put too much on for today's flight. So I don't know if we've looked at that yet.
No, not yet.
Um,
But that's always a good idea, and it's a legal requirement as well.
Well,
before
you've
you
got
depart.
you're gonna have 3,500 kilos or how much? So that'll be about 7,600, 7,800 you're going to be taking off with for your reference.
Kilos,
AJ.
Toto?
Pounds.
Pounds. So what, just give me the kilograms. I'm going to put it into the FMS.
3,500.
3,500 will be our takeoff. Okay, for our perfonet, roughly. All right.
So,
And I looked at the weather down there, BB, in Telluride. It really wasn't a bad day. I think the winds were light out of the west.
yeah.
Let's see.
I did check the weather and I thought, well, it's all right. It's, it's nothing too marginal.
I used to fly with a captain who used to ask me, he said, "Kid, does it matter? We're going."
We're going. Okay. Well, that's a
He
clear
was a
statement.
crusty old airline guy. I loved flying with him. It was early in my career, and he had a lot of good little one-liners like that. You know, he'd say, "Kid, there's
Yeah.
only 3 things that matter in this business: having the wheels down when you get there, having enough gas in the tank so you don't run out." And I already forgot the third thing. It's been 20 years, so that was he had some interesting outlook on flying.
Perfect. I love that.
Yeah. So the temperature there, it's actually warm, 0.
Okay, that's not too bad then. Yeah.
Not bad. Not too bad.
So regarding departures, we're going to Kisney. Let's see.
Refueling is complete, Captain. Do you need anything else?
Fuel looks good. 3.5.
Okay.
It's
just
on
one
plan,
quick
right?
signature
Yep.
on here, and I'll be on my way. Here's a copy for your records. Have a nice day.
Thank you much.
Glad my quick 2-second math worked out.
Yeah, perfect. Huh?
And what's our burn to get down there, gentlemen?
I'll give you that value in a second. It should be... Yeah, Challenger 650. It should be about 965 kilograms.
So you're going to be landing with about 2.5 tons. That's about 5,500 pounds.
Anyway, it's fair to say if we're at 16.1 now, it'll be about 15.1, roughly.
Sounds reasonable, yeah.
Landing weight,
Yeah, that sounds good.
15,100 kilos.
Yeah, somewhere in that region.
Okay. All right.
It was minus 15 this morning. Wow, that's cold. Jeez. Yes, I think we'll
Brilliantly,
yeah.
brilliantly planned, BB. So if we go down to Telluride with the winds 270 at 6 surface, 0 degrees. I haven't done the altimeter, but just my rough estimation with the 6-knot tailwind, if you're going to do the Cat C RNAV to runway 9, your numbers, you're just in there. You're right there. So
As if
excellent.
I had professionally calculated prior, which I haven't, but
Right.
well, there we go.
Yes.
But that's very reassuring that it is doable. So
Yes, without any in-depth planning, without any real planning, the rough numbers, the rough math works out.
Yeah, it looks like 200 meters of margin. So there you go. No problem.
yeah, well,
Yeah, and that was I think I did a factored landing distance. I think the
Okay.
actual landing distance was less, so you're good on factored.
perfect.
I didn't do slope. I didn't go deep into it or do a runway analysis.
Yeah, cool. So let's see for the arrival. So we've got localizer 9 and the RNF Zulu 9.
Yeah, so there's a couple of approaches down there that are Cat AB only, and I think that the RNAV Zulu for 9 is Cat ABC.
Yeah, that is correct. So we'll plan for the
And
Zulu then.
and it only has LP. It only has LP straight in mins. So technically, if it was a weather day, and we were bold enough to go into Telluride, I think we'd be good down to circling mins only.
No.
Not that it makes a huge difference with what's going on here, but
Yeah. Right, so that is selected. And we'll take that via Echo Tango Lima. Actually,
I'm just doing some checks here, baby.
all good. Thank you much.
Wheeler Bay, overheat.
I have to earn my day rate.
So we've got Echo Tango Lima. So it doesn't really matter what I choose there for the via execute. So let's have a look at the Lex page. So Echo Tango Lima, and then we go to SEPMA, and then final approach runway 09. So that's all correctly inserted. So I also saw the performance, takeoff performance.
Yeah, that's preliminary. I'll fine tune that. That was just kind of a ballpark just to make sure that we were in the right.
So take 5 passengers, just 100 kilogram cargo, cruising 390.
I'm going to forgo some of the more obnoxious checks.
Yeah, perfect.
For the benefit of our audience's ears.
Yeah, perfect.
So don't consider this to be a model example of cockpit prep for a Challenger 650.
No worries. I feel in good hands. Hey, Adabiko, what's wishes?
It's a very well maintained aircraft. That's what I know.
Perfect. So for the target speed climb, we'll go 280, 74 or something. Actually, let's go a bit faster. 76. Cruise, it has 300 Mach 0.8, and descend will go again 0.76. 280. Flight path, angle 3 degrees. That's good.
You might want a shallower flight path angle for the descent here. It's
yeah, we typically use 2.1. I know some operators will go as high as 3. Our particular operator, we like the 2.1, keep it a bit shallow.
Okay, so 2.1 it is.
Moreover, you're landing at pretty much 10,000 feet, and deceleration above 10,000 feet with a tailwind is going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, BB, you think you're going to circle it around?
Well,
have you been to Telluride?
No, but I've been on a group flight here on stream. Yeah, we've been there, but that was quite some time ago.
All right. So I have never been to Telluride.
That's
nobody's ever asked me to go here in a Challenger, thankfully.
Yeah, so. well, I saw a video from Citation Max, so.
Then we're all set then. Yes.
So I did all the preparations. So -8 degrees Celsius, 278, runway 19, and we've got 3020. Oh, okay.
You'll need to switch the units in the PFD. Or AJ can do it for you.
Okay, yeah.
What do you need?
Just switch the altimeter units to inches.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, thank you much for that. So, do that in there. So today, Toto, what runway condition? It will be wet, I guess, not really contaminated.
I don't know. You tell me. You're the one flying.
Let me see what X-Plane has in store for us. So.
I mean, you could request the ATIS or METAR. Listen to the ATIS. You're on Pilot Edge, so it had actual voice ATIS.
No, so we decided not to go in Pilot Edge because obviously we want to discuss some stuff here.
Sure.
So that's fine. But we can still call up the ATIS, though, you're right, yeah.
Sure, yeah, in data link.
Yeah, real world NOTAMs. They're talking about patchy compact snow, 1/8 inch dry snow, snowbanks, medium to poorly obscured. That was issued on the 1st, valid till tomorrow. So the taxiways have some patchy compacted snow. Runway 19, field conditions 555, braking's good. 10% compacted snow, 75% eighth-inch dry snow, plowed and swept, 140 feet wide. Remainder's quarter-inch dry snow over compacted snow. So we're 555 breaking good. For 555, I'd have wet in the box for
exactly.
performance purposes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I would have as well. So 8 is not available, fortunately. So,
Yeah, Jackson Hole is not a digital airport.
Yeah. All right, so we said we'll take runway wet. So that's all fine. Next page. CG, is that 20, 21 or something?
24 should be good.
24, all right.
And I would say that today, on the topic of contamination and Bombardier, Challenger, CRJ, winter ops, what's our temperature here, BB? It is
-8.
Jackson Hole. Yeah, so -8 with the runway and the taxiway conditions. We'd be planning on taking off wings and cowls.
Okay. So then we go.
We taxi with the cowls. We'd be departing wings and cowls.
Okay.
Yeah, wings and cowls wet. Yep.
Okay. We'll send that data. So, yeah.
Another interesting point just to raise about Challenger performance is if we did come out of an airport like Jack's Hole, we'd probably have a runway analysis done, and a part of that would be the single engine escape maneuver. And that's where on the next page, you're on page 204. If you go to page 3, you'd have a level off height. Just for all the simmers in the CL650, you would want to set that level off height in AGL because it will influence your V speeds.
Okay.
Anything over 1500, I believe. But we don't have that today. But just throwing it out there for trivial note to the crowd.
Excellent. So just to make sure that you instead of 1,000, you would have 1,500 here, or?
No, you'd have whatever your escape maneuver dictated.
Okay, because of the yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because we might just do the SID today. I don't know what the climb requirements are, but we might need to use an alternate departure to meet climb gradient requirements single engine, and that would have its own level off.
Yeah. Because we're spoiled obviously as an airline pilot. We get the infos in our performance calculator, so we know exactly engine out routing, the climb gradient requirements, etc. So
that's a big difference between our worlds. Is that we are we're not as standardized, and that's all on us to do every bit of that.
Yeah. And
this SID is 335 feet per nautical mile to 8,400. So what is the field elevation here?
The elevation is 6,500 roughly.
Okay, so you'd have a level off height of 1,900 that's 8,400 minus 6,500. No, more? No, 1,900, right? Check my math. And we need 335 feet per nautical mile, so if you enter 1,900 as the level off height into the box, it's going to tell you the obstacle clearance reference climb gradient there on the OCR climb gradient line. And you can even enter 335 into the requirement climb gradient, and it's gonna tell you whether you're going to be able to meet this required climb gradient. So LSK 4 right. And if your required was higher than the OCR, it would actually highlight that in amber and tell you check takeoff performance.
Okay. Yeah. So.
And even better is it'll tell you your obstacle clearance limited departure weight or max takeoff weight.
Yeah.
So right now, if you go to page 3, you'll see it says 16.8 or what the number was there.
16.8. Yeah. Obstacle. Yeah.
So that is our max takeoff weight limited by obstacle clearance. If you set like a higher climb gradient that we cannot meet, it will tell you how much weight you have to lose to be able to meet that.
Yeah. So there we go. So 450 would be 15 tons only.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. That's interesting. So you do have obviously then the means to be able to calculate these requirements here in the box as well.
Yes. So we don't need an EFB calculator because the calculator is actually built into pretty much the FMS. Or if you have a high detail runway analysis tool, that's a different story. But this is pretty much already more complicated than most simmers are able to use.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, your potential customers obviously are in the professional region, so that's why it's in there.
Yeah. AJ knows as well that runway analysis can get insanely complicated, and you can spend hours and hours just talking about it and explaining it.
Yeah, we could do 4 separate streams, and it would probably become highly controversial because there's not a lot of people who really can truly say they understand it and can teach it. So we'll stay out of those weeds today.
Okay, cool. Right.
So the altimeter BB is 3019 from what I see on the real world weather, anyways.
I will change that. 1319 elevation. Yeah, that adds up correctly. Yeah, perfect. So 2 knots for the climb out speed already set. We've got the V speed set.
What was the departure that we're doing?
Yeah, so I would opt for the Alpine 3 departure.
3, got it.
That'll take us to Kisney and Kisney 15,000, which should be doable. Right, so I've got to go outside, close the nose door, and then actually we need to get our passengers in.
Hotstart flight support.
But most
Jenny
typically,
speaking.
in a
How can we
situation
help?
where the weather's decent right now and the airplane's contaminated, we would
Understood.
often
They'll be there in a
clean the
couple of
airplane
minutes.
before loading folks
Anything
up.
else?
If we were
Yeah.
going to do 2-step type 1-4 with a holdover time or any type of holdover time, then no.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Always a
typical
pleasure.
flow for us
Take
is
care.
clean the airplane. We get here pretty early and have that done on a day like today.
I find it interesting because, I mean, for us, when we get to the aircraft in the morning and there's only like frost overnight and there's no contamination or no precipitation, our aircraft would be already de-iced and anti-iced. So type 4, and I don't know, at least in Frankfurt, they kind of put tons of fluid on, and it all drips off the aircraft, and it's so difficult to find spots that aren't contaminated with fluid on the ground. So I guess it's not quite as drastic here in the Challenger for the passengers to board the aircraft, but
Yeah, funny story about that. When I first started flying jets, it was a G4, and I was kind of thrown into it pretty suddenly from flying a Caravan. And we were in Geneva, and it was the first time I'd ever walked out to an airplane that was covered with contamination. So, not being very experienced, I followed the captain's lead, and he wasn't a big talker. We paused, we looked at the airplane. He opened the door, he looked at me for a second, as if to prompt me to do something, and I just looked back at him, and I climbed right up the steps and went inside with him. And he then, obviously, he had called for the de-ice truck to come out.
yeah.
And at that point in my career, by the way, I didn't even know what Type 1 was, or what color, or what was about to happen. And he gave me another look. He looked me in the eyes, and he looked outside, and I just looked at him, and he shut the door, and he shook his head, and he went to the cockpit. And then the truck came out, and I looked out the window and thought, wow, this is really cool. Oh, wow, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
And then when that got done, he looked at me again, and I said, so I guess I'll go do the pre-flight now. And he kind of shrugged and said, enjoy. And that's when I learned, and that's when I learned exactly what you're talking about, because I went outside, and there wasn't a spot around that airplane that didn't have a pile of goo, and
Yeah.
I destroyed my shoes. I had
Yeah.
stuff dripping on me as I walked underneath. So
Yeah.
do your walk around before, and do your tactile check after. But sometimes we'll actually keep a spare set of boots or shoes,
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
because it can get very, very nasty outside the
Hello,
airplane when you're out doing
Captain. Hope you are doing well
tactile.
today.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great. There's nobody else coming along today. So as far as we're concerned, we're all good to go.
Right, so passengers are here. So I'll go outside, quickly close the nose gear door, and then, oops, we should be good.
Yeah, 3 is on, and let's see. Let me set the park and brake here. Brake at that.
So hydraulic is running, I guess.
Yeah, 3 should be on. Let's see.
In fact, BB, now you can even open up the nose equipment bay and the radar. We've got that
Okay.
in as well.
Wow, okay, hang on. So,
You want to open the clasps and click on the lock and then the actual door.
look at that. One day you could actually perform maintenance work on this. That's incredible.
Yes, and you can pull the battery.
Well, not now, I guess, but
Yeah, please don't.
pretty massive.
Eventually, will actually make you raise if you deploy the ADG, the handle you see there, the perforated handle, it kind of sticks out at a 45-degree angle. That's how you lift it up. That's the pump to pump it back up.
Nice. Right, let's see if we get closed again. And make sure it's locked. Fantastic. Right. Okay, so close that panel. It's closed. Right. Aircraft looks good from this side. So I can close up the door as well. Passengers are happily strapped in. It is an amazing amount of detail, yeah. Okay, so actually let me just
Not to be a drag, but normally the door is kept open for takeoff and landing,
okay, sorry.
because that's your primary escape route.
Alright. Good point. We'll leave that open then. Right, let's have a look. Cozy temperature, a bit warmer for the passengers. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so they're happy. Champagne's in the cooler. Okay, quick question from my side. Do you guys have a certain checklist for the icing, anti-icing, or do you just do it by
Yes,
memory?
Hotstart actually has one, a spray de-ice checklist and an after spray de-ice checklist.
Yes,
in their documentation.
Yep.
Is that electronic? Is that on the?
It's not electronic, it's only PDF, but
Okay,
you'll find
okay.
it in the airplane under documentation, and it's, let me see, I think it's either printable, it's in the printable checklist.
Yeah. So I have a copy of it here, BB, hard copy that we
I
can
will-
walk through.
I will hold that up as well. But yeah, let's start from the top then regarding the flight compartment safety check. I think that's you already done all that. I'll check the.
Well, I've gone ahead and done
Yeah.
a basic, round the robin flow, and I've done some of the steps for the de-ice prep. That's where I'm at. But we could certainly run the electronic here. So
Yeah,
let me
go
go
ahead.
do some of my keybinds. All right. So yeah, your display, your memory settings don't match mine. So stand by. No worries. All right, I have found the checklist.
Perfect.
All right. Flight compartment check. All right. Shall we go through this? And I'll call the items completed.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
do you
that's-
want to do them?
No, that's fine. You go through them and I'll monitor.
Toto, quick question. Why is this start on item 7?
Because items 1 through 6 have you powering up the airplane.
Yes. Right. You need the paper. Okay.
Yep.
All right. AC and DC electrics are checked. Nav lights and logo lights. I've got the nav lights on. Logo lights are off.
Check.
Cockpit lights.
Yeah, fine.
I'm set. All right, lamp test. We'll call it tested. Duct monitor was tested. Database. I cycled to the new dates. That was done. Flight plan uplink at ATIS. I think BB, you did that one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's all checked.
All right, call that complete. Anti-skid. Let's see. I have to move a window. It's armed, and I actually did the test when the parking brake was off.
Yeah.
And I should be pressing buttons here. Nose door, you closed?
Yep, closed.
We'll call it clear. 3A came on, brake pressure. You should have it up there on the left side.
So
You
I
got
see
your inboards.
3,000 PSI.
Yep, on the inboards they're good. Parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
All right, nose door. I heard you close it. I don't see the light.
Yep.
Hydraulic panel and pumps should be
All
checked.
auto. Yep, checked.
And 3A should be on. Electrical panel is checked. AC/DC utility is on. Start ignition panel, I checked that. I checked the fuel panel. Low control valve is open. 10-stage ISO valves open. The packs are on. Air conditioning panel was checked. Pressurization panel you saw earlier. I set the field elevation and the altimeter for departure. But this is, interesting discussion point. We're going to go from Jackson Hole at what, about 6,500 feet MSL, right? That's our current elevation. And what is Telluride, 9 or so?
Yeah, 9,070.
Yeah, and how long is the flight today?
It says 55 minutes.
Yeah, so about an hour. So just the consideration, normally on the Challenger, we would set the landing field elevation now. But when landing field elevation is pretty high, it's just the question is, do you want to go ahead and set that? Because the airplane, the cabin will climb up there early. And and have everybody sitting here at 9,000 feet for most of the flight, or do you want to delay? It's a pretty short flight.
Yeah. So we would
I would
delay,
almost say for simplicity.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we'll forget, because we're gonna be talking.
Well, we've got Toto with us, so Toto will remind us.
Okay.
I'll remind
we
you.
just have to leave. We have to leave enough time for the airplane to climb that roughly 2,500 feet. So, not that I've ever been on an airplane where we've forgotten to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm speaking from some experience. So we'll leave it at Jackson Hole for now, if everybody's cool with that.
Yeah. Perfect.
That was the point of all.
Yeah.
that.
Good point.
All right.
Yeah, good point.
All right, bleed air panel was checked. So the supplemental ground wing anti-ice. If you guys want to mess with that, I'm going to leave that to Toto. I don't have it on my airplane, so I'm not really well versed with it. Cal anti-ice switches are off. Anti-ice panel was checked and tested.
Yeah.
Emergency lights are armed. Pack signs. I'm gonna, BB, you can run the passenger signs, but they're all on for now.
Yeah, they're both on. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. ELT looks like it's armed.
Yep.
Glare shield. Do you have your FCP and all your glare shield stuff set up the way you want it?
So let me just go. And so takeoff. Yeah, that's fine on my side. And actually, initial climb would go to 15,000 at Kistney. Right, so 15,000 is set.
15,000. I see that. Crew and passenger oxygen were checked, and we're normal over here. DC warning panel. I checked it. CVR, I actually did test it. Audio panels. Going to use COM 1 today, pretend, if we were doing the radios. So I'm set on the right. SPS, it was one of the ones I spared our audience from, but we'll call that checked on. Just make sure your switch is on over there.
SPS.
All protection, the one on the auto.
The one on the left with the little fancy blue and yellow and red gauge underneath your audio panel. That switch.
Hang on.
Yeah, stop
protection. We often have on aircraft like this cleaners and people who come up in front and clean, and you'll find things like anti-skid will be unarmed, thrust reversers will be changed, stall protection might be off, so it's always good to check it.
So stall protection pusher on, okay.
Yeah, the switch should be in the up position.
Yeah, it is up, yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason why it wouldn't be, because we don't have any cleaners crawling all over this thing, unless you had it off on your last flight.
Nope.
The clock is reset. EFIS and ICAS? Can you give that a scan?
Yeah, looks as it should be. Yeah, fine.
All right, main landing gear bay overheat, we'll call that checked. Pause warning, switches, they're all out. I skipped the test, and we're going to continue like that. Pitch and roll disconnects. They're both in and stowed.
Yeah.
Ground spoilers, can you just check they're in auto?
So, ground spoilers are in auto.
Twitch. Yep. Thrust reversers.
They are armed.
Check they're armed.
Yep.
Very good. Thrust levers, just check they're shut off.
Yeah, they are shut off.
Small note, I do see a lot of folks in the CL650 sim community running throttles all the way up and down. Every operator I've flown with, we've never done that. We just make sure they're in the shut-off position at this point.
Yeah.
Engine speed switches, this is another gotcha that cleaners will often turn these off. I see that they're on.
Yeah.
I did the vibe check, oral warning check, smoke detector I did, trims.
Let's check that.
They're
now.
all checked. Mock trim is on. Right now I have full nose-up trim, and that's,
that's
for the
for
Type 1
de-icing.
application.
That was the next
Yes.
thing I was going to ask. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and I believe, how is the Hotstart checklist worded for that? I don't even see it.
No, I don't.
I don't think we have an entry for that.
No, it's kind of an important one. It's in the Bombardier pubs. It's just the function of which way you want the fluid to run off the surface. So, and Bombardier is nice enough to have in our quick reference handbook, the item will say elevator trim as required, which always forces us, if we haven't done it very often, to go to the FCOM to see where it says typically you'll go full nose up trim. So that's why you're there today.
Yeah, so 9 units.
Yaw dampers should be engaged.
Yeah.
Reversionary and inhibit switches down here on the pedestal
Yep.
are all normal,
Normal, yeah.
and they're out.
Mm-hmm.
IRSs are aligned. CPDLC we're not going to use it today. We're not logged on. I'll call the TCAS tested, although don't tell anybody other than all of us here in this circle of trust that I didn't do it.
Yeah.
ADIS and clearance.
So yeah, it is received.
I think
Clearance
you've got
as,
that.
yeah, as briefed. Yeah.
What runway are they using?
19.
Okay, very good. All right, FMS flight plan, wind update and perf.
I didn't do a wind update, I think. So
Okay.
let's just go with data link.
It's in route
Oh, it's
menu.
route, yeah. Hold on. Route menu, wind update, send. There we go. Right, sending. Okay, and the rest should be in.
Very good. I think that might require an execute when it comes in, right,
yeah.
Toto?
Yes, in our currently
there
it
you go.
does.
There, BB, you got it. All right. Takeoff data.
So I can see. Yeah, all sent. V1 117, VR 128, V2 135, VFTO is 160. That is all set.
See it? I see an N1. We'll call that set.
Okay.
Avionics and charts. I put the SVS on the right because I figured we're flying in the hills.
Hmm.
I didn't know if you wanted that on your PFD or not.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Do you know where to find that, or do you want me to grab that?
If you grab that, it'll be probably a lot quicker.
Okay. Well, this might be one of those things that when I do this, I might end up having to sit on your lap for a second. Stand by. Yeah, don't mind me. Don't mind me.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
There you go. There's the menu. I'm trying.
You're operating the right-hand menu.
Yeah. Let's see that on the right hand
Oh,
side.
I'm still. Oh, you know why, Toto? Okay.
Yeah,
It's
you're in shared
because
cockpit.
I'm in shared cockpit, so I'm a little out of my norm. So easy enough.
It's on the
I can just go to
little
the
panel.
DCP. Yeah, I'll just go to the DCP and pull up your PFD on my screen, and I'll just go to menu and click, and that gives you your SVS and your FPV. All right, you should be set now.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Okay. All right. All right. Avionics and charts are set.
Yep.
Flight instruments. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and go through yours, then I'll cross-check mine.
Yeah, I've got heading 008, and altimeter right now is 3019, 6,450 indicating. And anything else you want to check?
So I usually I kind of do an upside-down U. FMS2 nav source. Speeds are posted, speed set 200. Initial altitude is 15,000. We're indicating 6460 at 3019 QNH. Heading checks 008 1, 2, 3 times.
Perfect.
All right, we'll call that checked. We're up to departure brief. Let me see. I'll grab a chart for you. Try to, anyways.
Yeah, so I've got a chart here as well. So,
Okay.
Exactly. So taxi out. I can see the icing pad near the threshold 19. So, the question is, the icing with engines running?
You can do either one.
Okay,
you can do remote de-icing or on-stand de-icing, whichever one you prefer.
Well, we do remote. I think that's more interesting. So we'll taxi out Alpha to the icing pad and get the ice there. And then we're already at the threshold 19. For length departure, done the calculations. We'll fly Right turn heading 200, intercept the Jackson Hole radial 192 to Kisney. To hold, continue climb in Kisney holding pattern across Kisney at 15,000. I would assume we'll be at 15,000 there already. And then we can expect further clearance 10 minutes after departure. But yeah, 13,000 is the grid, 14,000. So if it's 15,000, I would assume that we can continue on the routing as filed. For the returns,
yeah, I'm just reading the departure here. Initial climb. What is it? Climbing right, turn 200 to pick up the 192 to Kitchney and hold. Yep, and that checks with what the box is, telling you to do. Kitchney at 15,000. Yeah, that looks good. I'm with you.
Cool. Right, so engine out. I have no idea really about engine out procedures here. But we did look at the gradients. So initially looking at the departure routing, we can stay on the departure routing. That will be in the value. And we did set the acceleration height at 1900 feet. So there we'd level off, accelerate, clean up. And then what would you suggest to do after that?
Well, we would just, we'd cover something like, emergency return, be right here to Jackson Hole. Burning on fire, fearing for our lives. This is the most logical place to run to prior to 80 knots. And it's your brief, but typically what we would run through, especially with two guys who haven't flown together before, below 80 we'll board for anything above that. It'll be fire failure, loss of direction control, reverse or deploy after V1, which I believe was 117 today.
Yep.
We're gonna go fly. You're gonna fly. I'm gonna handle checklists and radios unless we agree to do otherwise. The only thing we'll do below 400 feet is get rid of the bell and the warning. After that, memory items, we would decide who's going to do what, whether you're going to announce them and I perform them, or whether you're going to announce and perform. And we're going to plan to climb flaps 20 and probably V2 plus 10 to our acceleration altitude, which was 1900 AGL, which was 73? Yeah, 8,400 feet. At which point we'll accelerate to VT minus 5. We'll clean up and we'll continue flying, climbing at VT, looking for Kitchney at 15,000.
Okay.
And then we brief trip, passengers, weather, what we can expect when we get there, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we can call that done for the sake of today.
Yep.
If you're good with that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's interesting to hear that side. Cool. All right.
Toto, do you have anything to add since you're in the jump seat today?
That was perfect. I'm happy.
Sounds
All
good.
right, now you're new to the Challenger co-pilot. Just has to find his way back to. I should have saved this if I was smart. There we go.
There we go.
Charts off. So-called departure briefing complete. And then we would probably talk about the fact that you talked to Iceman. They're on 3692 VHF. They said to call them when we get down to the pad, and they're going to do what, type 1 wings and tail?
Yeah.
I don't think we need a fuselage today.
No fuselage, just wings, tails.
Yeah, type 1 wings and tails, and we'll configure per the checklists. Emergency procedures, I think we can call that reviewed.
That's reused.
Pins, covers, and chocks.
Yeah, remove.
I think you got those. All right. Cabin lights, water heaters, and the master seat.
They're all set. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Flight compartment checklist is complete.
All right.
All right. So now we're up to standby. If I want to skip this checklist, there we go.
Yeah.
We're up to the engine start check.
Yes, please.
All right, doors,
Are closed.
park and brake, and pressure.
Park and brake is set, and the pressure is 2,950 psi.
Fuel quantity and balance.
We've got 3,440 total and 80 kilograms, so in balance. Yeah.
Roger. Beacon.
That goes to on.
All right, boost pumps.
They are on.
Excellent. Ignition.
Yeah, we'll take 8 today. It's armed.
All right, very good.
So
All right, we're up to engine 2, and we are clear on the right.
Okay, and we'll get the ground to remove the chocks. And clear right. So, engine 2, start.
I got a time.
Starters engaged. So, got 20%. This is good. Fuel on.
So my co-captain has informed me that at Jackson Hole, because it's in a national park, you can only de-ice at the pad up here, and then once you're coated, you can't come back to the ramp because they don't want the stuff down here. So you get sprayed and you gotta leave.
Okay,
There's no return.
that's it. Oh, wow. Right, good start, stable.
You can see how they've done such a good job modeling it. See the oil pressure in amber.
Yeah, it's amber. It's
from
just,
the cold airplane.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, oil temperature at 0 degrees right now. Okay, continue.
All right, so engine 2 started. We're up to the fuel system check.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, well, you do that, please.
Okay. All right, let's turn off the 2 pumps. And now we're gonna watch. And you also see we have a right fuel, or we have the fuel low temp light. You see that?
Left, right.
Yeah, so we have left, right pump,
Yeah.
and we have the left fuel low pressure. So that's what we're looking for there.
Yeah.
All right, so now the pumps are coming back on. So fuel system is checked.
Yeah.
We're up to engine 1.
Okay, go ahead. So we'll get the signal. Okay. Good to start one. Clear left side. So start.
I hacked the time for you. There you go.
Perfect. Start engaged. AJ or Toto, can someone explain why you cannot do wind update in flight? You can't? I thought you can. If you want.
It's prohibited in the limitations section of the AFM.
Okay, there you go. Well, that's a good answer.
So the wind update on the real airplane on 605 Advanced and 650 is a little bit finicky. It works better in the sim than it does in the real world. We have a little workaround we have to do to actually get that to take, and I don't think they want you to do that in flight because you could cause
Crash.
issues with your FMS. Yeah.
Basically crash the FMCs.
Oh, well, there
Yeah.
we go. Well, that's a very good answer. So, don't do it. Right, cool. Good engine starts.
All right, engine start check is complete.
Yeah, thank you very
Alright,
much.
so
Let's do the
escape.
after start. Checklist.
After start checklists. All right, you just want to do this as a read and do. I'll read it, you do it.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right, Gen 1 and 2.
Both on.
I'll put up your AC page,
Yeah, looks
and then there's the DC page.
good. Looks good.
All right, very good. Get rid of that for you. On check AC DC ignition.
Is off. Or disarmed.
Yep. The packs for now should be on.
Yeah, they are on now.
14 stage. Do you want me to grab these, or do you want to grab all this stuff?
You go ahead and then
All right.
clear that open, okay?
Yeah. So at that point, we're checking that the valve does say open when it's deselected, because they don't work until you have pneumatic pressure.
Yeah.
So you're not only reaching up to push them in, you're checking to see that they say open. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go through my anti-ice checks that I'm used to.
Mm-hmm. There we go. And 2 indications amber.
Yep, and I'm checking the 14 stage isolation valve that it opens while they're selected on, and they do. 2 amber bands, we see the rise in ITT.
Yep.
Now we're just waiting for the for the wings to come up to temperature.
Yeah, it can take a little while when the airplane's
It can take a little
cold
while.
soaked.
So I can just do flight controls. Why don't you go ahead and
Yeah, okay.
keep on trucking. I'll come back to.
Okay. Alright, all moving. Yep. Flight controls checked.
All right, ground spoilers, check that they're stowed in auto.
They are stowed in auto, yeah.
All right, and flight spoilers, check stowed. The cowl anti-ice, I checked that. I'll close that one out. This is part of the supplemental ground and wing anti-ice that I don't want to get involved with today.
Yeah.
Test it on. All right, fuel balance, you happy?
About 90 kilograms, yeah, happy.
All right, trims, I'm gonna skip that one because we're set up for de-ice right now.
Yep.
Nose steering.
Is now armed.
Excellent. And now we're up for you to do the APR check, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, we'll do test 1. There's test 1 okay. Test 2. Test 2 okay.
You grab ADG unit test while you're down there. That's the next item.
Yeah, so go to unit test. Lights goes out again, yeah.
Excellent. Still just waiting on these wings to heat up.
Yeah, wow, that's a long time.
It's cold. It's
Yeah.
cold. You could bring up the study screen and see where they are. That's one of the cool things that they've done.
Yeah.
You could actually watch that stuff happen.
Study.
Also,
Under engines or hang on?
yes, it's under engines, bleeds, and 14th stage system. At the very bottom, bleed.
And then 14th stage. There we go.
And the top block, you'll see the surface temperature. So right now the wings are at plus 18. It's, I think, plus 24 C is the trip point for the sufficient heat switch. So it'll take only about maybe 30 more seconds.
So there we go. So now 20 degrees.
One thing I'm also noticing is your engine vibes are a little bit higher. The N1 vibes are reading about 1.7. Normally they'll sit about 0.5 to 0.8. So I'm suspecting that you've got a little bit of ice buildup on the fan blades, so that's causing the imbalance.
Okay, so that's something to. And you do the same engine run up to get rid of the ice, or?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So the wings greened up.
Yep.
We'll taxi out with the cowls on just because they're 555 wet and it's really cold.
Yeah.
We'll configure down at the pad further. All right,
Sounds
so
good.
back to the checklist.
Yep.
Cows are on, wings were checked, 14 stage was checked, the wings were checked, now they're off. And the ATS,
Shows N1 takeoff. Yeah.
you should have Nito, Toto.
Yep.
All right, transponder, I gave us a code, I hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
1414.
Fine. Sounds good.
All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the transponder running, and then, I don't know, does anybody know what our frequencies are here?
Well, it doesn't really. Just put something.
It
in
doesn't
there.
matter. Ground says, ground just said, you're on your own.
Right.
You guys do whatever you want, they're busy. All right, so ATC TARA after start's complete.
Thank you so much. So we'll take the next left, and we'll taxi out Alpha, as mentioned, to the icing pad.
Roger, I'll get your chart up for you.
Cheers.
We'll pretend it's New Year's and everybody in the towers already got the party hats on and they got the eggnog flowing, getting all ready to party.
Cool.
All
Right.
right, baby, I got your map up. There's no way you're gonna get
cool.
lost now.
Excellent, excellent. Right, so release the parking brake, and off we go. Tap the brakes. Brakes are working.
You're clear, right? Other than the fuel truck that just drove in front of you.
Oh, okay, not on my screen.
Thank you,
luckily.
Yeah, thank you, X-Plane. There's vehicles everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, back on Alpha.
Look clear, right?
Clear left side.
Go ahead and grab your nose light.
Thank you.
The airport orthos on BB Stream have some airplanes baked in.
Yeah, and also the terminal doesn't show up, so probably a scenery order issue. Which is kind of strange because I did a screenshot. I made a screenshot for the stream tonight, and it was all there. That's weird. Okay.
Oh, you know, I haven't been keeping careful track of the stream over on the iPad. Hey, check it out. Oh, your windshields are contaminated on your stream.
So,
But that doesn't transfer over shared cockpit, Toto? I can't see the contaminated.
Probably. I'd have to check
Okay.
whether we synced that up correctly or not.
Now, Toto, here's a question. And if I turn the heats on right now, will that slowly fade?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah, that would have been my suggestion as well. Yeah.
Well, they're on.
Perfect.
Let's
Thank you.
watch.
Yeah, Avenger. No. So at the moment, the Challenger is the only aircraft that has shared flight implemented. And Toto, regarding TBM, I know you're redoing it for XP12.
The TBM unfortunately will not get shared flight. Its architecture is just incompatible for it.
Yeah. But the 220, I hear, will have shared flight, and that's something I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, there you go. Your windshield's
Yeah, there you
cleared
go.
up.
Yeah.
That
Perfect.
that is cool. Nice work, Hotstart.
Yeah.
You thought of everything.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right, that ding is me. That's just the windshield.
windshield.
Heat's coming off.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right, cancel that caution. Here's your de-ice pad.
Yeah.
Looks
So
like you
just-
found your way.
Oh yeah. First big success of the day.
Yeah.
Right, so we're just going to park out of the way here, and then we'll call up for the icing trucks.
Now that's how pros do it.
I know, Vinny, right? Cool.
And I've got the Hotstart de-ice checklist here ready too.
Perfect. Alright, so just going to come to a stop here. Got enough space, so park brake is on. So yes, go ahead please.
Oh, and that's item 1, so you got it. All right, the taxi lights is going to come off. You got it. Thrust reversers, just make sure they're stowed.
They are stowed.
All right, it's calling for packs off.
Yep, please.
All right, let's see. You got pack left and right. Packs are off.
Checked.
And it's calling for 10th stage bleed airs to be off, and they're currently off because the APU is supplying bleeds.
Okay.
Wing anti-ice is off. The cowls, I'm going to turn those off.
Yep.
And 14th stage bleed airs are going to come off.
Mm-hmm.
Should see those light up.
Close.
They're
Yeah.
close. Very good. And the flaps stay up unless we suspect that there was icing on the flap tracks, which I didn't see that much. We de-ice with the flaps up today.
Yeah, we'll do so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we ready?
Yeah. So we would be ready. Here. How do I activate?
The frequency is 3692. That's the Hotstart de-ice truck, and I have that right now in the preset for Comp 2. So why don't you go ahead and do it? Just pull up your tune page and drop it into the active, and that should get us going. But and then Toto, do we have to transmit? Is that a prerequisite?
Yeah, just momentarily operate the radio
Yeah.
transmit switch.
Complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment.
It'll be
all
Yeah.
upwards.
Oh, hang on,
Thank
sorry.
you.
So BB, you see it on my side? See the I have
Passed my first
3692
KTPL
on the
theory
preset for
exams
Comp
last
2.
week.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
Yep,
inspiration.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop that
black
into
box.
the.
Oh,
no,
you have
I'm
to
not.
activate. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
That's active.
there it is. And now, I'll just go ahead using Com 2 and I'll do a quick transmit.
Yeah, there we go. So
And now something should happen.
yeah, I've got
Unless
the
I-
menu up. Yeah. So
there
it
you go.
says you may start de-ice only wings and tail, or it says you may start de-ice and anti-ice wings and tail. So we discussed this prior to engine start, and we were concurrent that we're going to only de-ice the aircraft. There's no more precipitation, so we'll have de-ice only wings and tail. If you're okay with that.
I'm good.
Right, we sure? Yes, we are sure. So there we go.
Yeah.
Now, Toto says you can actually go into the de-icing truck.
Yeah, it's in the ground services menu in the top bar.
So
Ground to cockpit. Starting.
and you can look around as well. So Right. So from the Judgment of Color, it's Type 1.
That's correct.
Flight Sim Kit, thanks so much for 17 months. Hey, you passed your ATPL theory exam last week. Well, congratulations. That's a big step. Flight Sim Kit, my pleasure, and congratulations on that. That's brilliant. GG's.
And as you can see, the de-icer is being fairly generous with the fluid.
Yeah, as I have witnessed so many times in real life. So
They're
this
going to
alone.
email.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to email you a copy of the invoice, BB.
Oh, perfect.
That's
It's
what
actually
Jenny
not.
said anyway.
Yeah, it's actually not as expensive as I always thought. So I think for the 320, it's about 400 euros.
Okay. You got a much better deal than I saw.
Okay. At least that's what
I
it
think
was like 5 years back. But yeah, I think they said like 400, 500 euros.
Boy, I sure wish that I could get this view on the real airplane.
Yeah.
To watch them do the top of the tail or to see the top of the tail.
Yeah. So GSX, you see, that's how you do it.
I recall seeing a Challenger de-icing invoice, fuselage, wings, and tail, the full service.
Yeah.
And it was about $6,000 or $7,000.
Welcome aboard the
ouch.
Captain Black Box
Well, that's a
Duo
lot.
Channel experience.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Could new subscribers
Yeah.
please make their
That
way
even
to the
tops our
first
stories
class
of a lot.
cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight infotainment will be served. Thank you.
It might have been a particularly
Super
heavy
interesting
application,
stream.
but
I can see
maybe they had to
everything
do
I
it
do
twice
wrong in
too,
the
I don't
Charlie
know,
line.
but yeah.
it was
But,
two-stage.
But flying this product with this supercritical wing, we're very conservative. If there's any doubt, we're going to be getting sprayed. There's not a lot of, hey, I think we're okay. We don't really operate like that.
No, we don't either.
Per that presentation you displayed, you could see there's been issues, and the wing just doesn't tolerate contamination.
No.
Yeah, it's those guys with the cavalier attitude have ended up in that PDF.
Yeah. We could talk about that a little bit later. Sarbik, thank you so much for the 2 months. And he writes, so super interesting stream. I can see everything I do wrong in the Charlie. Well, there we go. That's the point, right? Keep on learning and get better. And for those that have not tried shared flight yet in the Challenger, I mean, please do so. It's so much fun. HT Simulation, good stream. Big fan of the Challenger, and Toto, my favorite plane, the X-Plane. Well, there we go. Quite rightly so. This alone, this feature that you can sit in the cab of the de-icer. That's so brilliant.
Yep, and at nice you can see he's got a little light at the end of the the end of the hose there.
Yeah. So at night time, I can see that as well.
Those all work.
How would the two-step then work, Toto? Here in
He
the
would
Charlie?
call you. He would basically just start spraying green here after he's done with the right wing, and he would call you when he starts the applications for you to note the time.
And then, does it have an influence the outside temperature regarding holdover time and so?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And precipitation rate.
I didn't want to be an idiot here, but I was thinking about suggesting to you to save the state with the airplane iced over and try a takeoff with that. You'd see how about well that would go.
We'll do that at another day. And we'll announce it prior.
Is there a way to get the de-ice man to only do one side of the airplane, Toto, to make it a little bit more spicy?
You could literally just try. You could literally just have him start on one side and then start taxiing off, and he would disappear.
Interesting.
He would back off, and you'd get the full uncanny experience of going inverted at about 30 feet.
I don't know if I would do that. I think I would have nightmares for sure. Yeah, so this is one thing I get asked quite often. Like, you have all the visual gimmicks in Microsoft Flight Sim, and then people say, "Oh, does it actually have an effect?" And no, it's just visual. But here in X-Plane with the Challenger, you have to really be serious about this. Otherwise, you're gonna crash.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yep.
sadly, in the information packet we sent you, there are some flight data recorder dumps with the 3D simulations for what actually happened in real life, and some of those have ended up pretty tragic. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you wanna have nightmares, just watch that, or I guess show people.
But on a good note, though, Toto, there is one in there that I recall that actually they lived. They actually they recovered. They unloaded and recovered.
A very
Wow.
pants browning moment for sure,
Yes.
but they lived.
Wow.
Yes, I would love to hear that story over a pint. I sure would.
Oh yeah.
Are they done? Did they usually call us?
Yes, they did. They're done.
They did.
And if BB had been inside of the cockpit, it would call them that he's done, and then called that he's checked the surfaces and they're clean.
Okay, so now we're up to the after spray de-icing checklist from
Yes,
the
please.
Hotstart documentation.
Yes. Go ahead.
So it calls for the taxi light to come back on. I mean, we wouldn't usually do that till we're moving, but and then the thrust, it does ask for 60% N1 for 20 seconds.
Okay. So brakes
which
set.
could be an issue if we were on a contaminated surface.
Absolutely,
just like with the
absolutely,
bus, but things look pretty clean here.
So
Start some time here.
So let's have a look if the vibration levels come down a bit. Yep, they're slowly
There's
coming
about
down.
20 seconds. Yeah, they're slowly coming down. Toto, is this modeled in any particular way? Did you model this to?
Yeah. It takes about a half minute or so for the vibes to come down, but yeah, they will settle down.
Okay.
So
you can see it's already decreased from about 1.7 down to 1.0.
Yeah,
and
and
0.8.
honestly, 0.8's not a really bad number
Yeah.
in and of itself.
Okay, that's good.
All right, so let me reset the timer. Next item here, BB, is 14-stage bleeds will come back on, so I have a little work to do. So 14s are back on. The cowls, as briefed, we're going to turn those on. And we're getting pretty close to leaving, so I'm going to get these wings heated up here for final taxi, because that might take a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, and we didn't do Type 4, so the APU's running, we got to get the packs back on.
Yeah.
All right, and now we've got some other cleanup to do. Got to get our trim reset. I'm bringing it down.
Yeah, to about 6.
6.0, is that what you want?
Yep, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. Okay, 6.0, that's set. And I think, let me get back to, that completes the after spray de-ice check.
Perfect.
All right, so now I can go back to our checklist stack. Trims have been reset.
Yeah, check.
All right, we should probably do a taxi check.
Yeah.
We're stopped right now, so I'll just say taxi light was on. Wing and cowl anti-ice. Cowls are on, and the wings are warming up for final taxi.
Checked.
Brakes and steering, were they good, BB?
They were good, yeah.
Okay, we do have to do a reverser check.
We'll do that taxi to the runway.
Okay, that sounds good. So I'll hold there, and then on the way out, we'll pick up the rest of this if that's good with you.
Yep, perfect. So we'll taxi out to the threshold, Alpha 1. So, oops. Nose gear light comes on. Brakes off, clear left side.
You're clear right.
So let me go ahead and check the reversers. Reverser 1 is good. Reverser 2 is good as well. Closed.
Here's our checks. You ready for flaps 20?
Yes, please.
All right. Flaps are selected 20. And the flaps are indicated 20. Altimeters, I'm seeing 3019.
3019 my side.
Radar weather, it doesn't work. But we'll call it on. Takeoff brief. Any changes? I have no
changes. No, briefing remains valid.
All right, the taxi check is complete. We're up to the before takeoff check.
Thank you. 1 second. Alright, so I'm ready.
All right. Pack signs. They look good. They're all secured in their seats.
Yep.
And I'll just give them a ding. There we go. They're dinged. Any collisions? I got the strobes on.
Perfect.
Let's run some lights here. I'm going to clear you for takeoff. I got to move some stuff on my desk here.
Okay.
So I can get to all my buttons. All right, pulses.
Alright. Yeah, the pro peeps, I think, are in the checklist.
Probes,
about to
boom,
come on,
boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I'm working my way through it slowly
yeah, the
here.
people are already worried, like,
First day at work. Yeah, anti-collision lights are on, probes are on, windshields are on, wings and cowls, they're on, they're greened up. We have green CAS.
Yeah.
The ignition is on. TCAS is already running.
yeah.
Supplemental ground wing NAS panel. Yeah, I checked it. CAS, and this is where we both point at and verify.
Yeah.
Takeoff config okay.
This is okay.
Yeah, we do takeoff config okay, Nito Toto. And if we didn't have pre-arm, we would check it here as well.
Yeah.
Landing pulse and recogs are on before takeoff checklist is complete. You are cleared for takeoff. Checklist is done.
Alrighty. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'll follow you.
Ready. So here we go. For the N1 takeoff, do I just press? Oh, it's just add the thrust. It goes automatic, doesn't it?
You add the thrust and they'll engage at like 79%, or you can just press the button and it'll do it all by itself.
It's engaged.
All right.
Perfect.
So
All right.
Thrust is set. Speeds will lie both sides.
Checked.
80 knots N1 hold, cross-checked.
Checked.
V1. Rotate. V2. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gears selected up.
Okay, so 400 feet above. So select LNAV, please.
Let's go with nav. Nav selected.
Check. So passing 8,000, select VNAV, please.
VNAV is selected.
And flaps up.
Lab selected up.
Maybe here you'll want to select something like flight level change. It's not quite a Boeing. It works a little bit different.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so yeah, flight level change.
All right. I'll grab flight level change for you.
There you go.
That's selected.
Perfect. And I'm already passing 10 in a second or two. Cool.
Out of 10.
Thank you.
Whoops. Don't mind me moving your yoke out of the way. I didn't mean to do that.
No worries. Autopilot is engaged.
Roger.
And so now would have been in contact with departure. Let's pretend they clear us up to 25,000. It looks to me like we'll have 15 at Kishney and then just.
Roger. I see flight level 250.
Yeah, checked.
Out my window, I see the sun, and I have no ice light. Do you want me to secure the heats?
Well, we've got some clouds.
I don't know what you. I don't know what you see. Yeah,
let's just leave
it's
leave it
different.
running, yeah. So let's say out of 15, direct to Oscar, Charlie.
You drop it into the second line there. That's activating from.
Okay, so there we go. So slowly increase the speed. Yeah, so we selected to climb at a slower speed to get up to 15,000. got that. Slowly increase. And ortho's doing its work. And contrary to what people are saying, that you can't have snow on orthos, well, XP12 that works now. So I'm going to put on my headset. Right, passing
Good idea.
18,000.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, looks like we're coming out of the clouds on my screen as well, so go ahead with deselecting the anti-ice.
Here. Wings and cowls are selected off.
Thank you.
I'll let you work the passenger signs, Captain BB. That's up to you.
Yeah.
Just working my way through the after takeoff checklist is complete.
All right. Excellent. Well, that was a successful de-icing.
And if you
takeoff.
want, FMS speed control is in the perf menu. You had it there, just
Yeah,
perf, but
it's-
twice in.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, man. I don't know why I always want to search for the VNAV pages. There we go. Now I've got the FMS speed active. Nice. That was very enjoyable. Right, so while we have some time, although let's climb, what did we file? 390, I think it was.
390 is what
Yeah.
we put in the perfinet.
There we go, so let's do that. Yeah, so interesting piece here as well for those that are very interested in the Challenger. So it says here in the document that the CRJ and Challenger aircraft have relatively large wing with a fixed leading edge and trailing edge flaps. So they call that a hard leading edge. Because that's one thing I noticed with the, I don't know, CRJ 700, they don't have slats, do they?
700s do.
Okay.
200s do not.
Okay, there we go. So at least some versions don't have slats, which I find really peculiar.
It is a common feature. Gulfstreams never do
Okay.
either.
Lots of gas in the wing.
It does allow for a simpler wing and a lighter wing, if you don't have to pack a bunch of mechanization in there.
Yeah, no, that's true. More storage for fuel as well, yeah.
That, and it significantly simplifies things like, for example, the wing anti-ice, because that gets fairly complicated when you suddenly have a displacing leading edge.
Hmm. Yeah. And then you'd have some dressing with stall strips, so that you influence which part of the wing stalls first.
That's the certification requirement. It's either or. And on the Challenger, there was pressure for them to put dressing on the wings to get a natural stall buffet. And attempts to do so were very difficult, and that's why we ended up with the stall protection system prior to certification.
Any other pages, AJ, that you can recommend to look at right now in that PDF file?
Let me open it up. Stand by, baby. Yeah, because that next series just kind of shows the flow separation, which is very aggressive on the supercritical wing, which is somewhat interesting. If you go through it fast, you could actually watch the airflow and how fast it develops the burble and it separates.
Is that animations or?
No, it's
No, it's
in
not
the
an
PDF.
animation.
Scroll through it.
You had it. It was the
Okay.
image with the airfoil.
Yeah, hang on.
If you go to
Yeah.
slide 27, I think.
There it is. Yeah.
And you just kind of step through from slide 27. You can just demonstrate how quickly and aggressively that burble and separation happens on this particular airfoil.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and step through that.
Yeah. So there we go. Here we go. Start getting the separation 15 degrees.
Oh, no. If 15 degrees, it's already fully developed. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
basically from 13 to 15, you have about 2 degrees of span or of angle of attack, where there's almost nothing to all the way.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. That's 13.
And look how quickly it just explodes right there.
Okay.
Yep, and how she goes from flying to not flying
Wow.
pretty much instantly.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Super critical.
And the crucial thing to note here is that there's very little warning of the onset of stall. So there's no buffet, there's no noise, nothing. It basically just suddenly goes and you're there.
Okay.
So during certification, the requirement was to install both a stick shaker and a stick pusher to absolutely super duper prevent that you never get in there. The problem is, even if you have the protection systems are calibrated for the wing being clean, right?
Yeah.
And when you have ice, and this airfoil is particularly unforgiving for ice.
Yeah, there's a note down on a further slide, BB, that the equivalent of 40 grit sandpaper on this wing can cause a CL max loss of up to 30%, and it will reduce the stall angle of attack by 7 degrees.
Yeah, there we go.
So not 2, but by 7, and that's pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, that's what it says here. Yeah. So the most critical region of a high-performance wing for stall characteristics is the leading edge, and so even small amounts of contamination in this area could cause significant effects. So equivalent of 40 grit sandpaper could cause lift max loss of up to 30%, and the reduction of the angle of attack stall of up to 7%. So we talked about what, anyway, between 30 to 15 degrees it goes, and that would mean at already 7 to 8 degrees angle of attack it will already go.
Yeah, if you rotate a bit too fast on takeoff, you can get in there,
and that's it,
with a contaminated wing,
and you can't get out of it at low altitude.
So there wouldn't be enough to recover, other than there is one animation where one crew successfully was able to unload the wing and get the angle of attack reduced enough to live, which was amazing. Yeah, and I think Bombardier tries to make the point that there's never been an accident or incident in a case where flight crews have had the wing anti-ice on. A lot of their case studies you'll see are crews taking off in winter conditions with the heats off, even in cases where they've de-iced, anti-iced.
Okay. Somebody says, what if Saharan dust is ever a problem for aviation? Well, yeah, it's definitely a issue for engines, for example, or for the windows, and for the probes. Yeah, these are things that obviously it can become a problem. For some reason, last time I flew the Challenger, I saw the angle of attack indicator on the left side, left of the speed scale, but I've never really looked at that before.
Yeah, and
it's nice having that tool in the 605, 650.
But the problem also there is that the scale on it is still calibrated to a clean wing. So
exactly, yeah.
you might very well get a stall at like 0.6. And you're not even going to get a stick shaker, let alone a pusher at that point.
Yeah. And again, if you're in that deep stall, that's it. The recovery takes quite some altitude.
Yeah, and if you want to show some of the videos there with the animations, there's like pages on the presentation here that go with those particular videos together.
Okay. All right, let me just have a look. So incident. That was one incident. Let me just check which one that is.
What slide number is it?
That's slide number 20. Oh, actually, I don't know the slide number. It doesn't say on there.
It's page 20. Yeah.
Yeah, page 20.
I think they go in sequence, so just 4, 7A, and 7B, or whatever the file names were.
Okay. So let me have a look. If that is the one. 1 degree moderate snow Yeah, 15 degrees across from the left. That seems to be the one. Yeah. So that's the animation of that incident. So you can see on the right-hand side the inputs from the control wheel and the rudder pedals and the calibrated speed. So let's have a look. So obviously a little bit left aileron input to counteract that crosswind, 80 knots. Coming up 39. So
While you're doing that, we're at a flight level 380 for 390.
Thank you much, checked. So here comes the rotation, 6.9 degrees. Oh, that's the one they recovered.
Yeah, I think that one's towards the end.
Yeah, that's how they recovered.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was a lucky crew.
Yeah.
And not a lot of information on that because it didn't turn up into an incident accident, so there's no report.
Yeah. But look how at this point, so 6.9 degrees, that was obviously per second. That's, a lot faster than normal. And then intuitively, I guess the pilot must have felt that the aircraft is about to roll to the right, and so he put like full left aileron input.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the maximum input. And then, yeah, rudder pedals, even that, they start. Not sure what he's doing there. Oh no, he's left. He's pushing left as well.
Rudder,
yeah, as well.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Yeah, looks like a roll. Did the CRJs have roll?
Yes,
spoilers?
yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they even popped up roll spoilers on the upper wing.
Yeah. So his right wing has quit flying for sure, and the left wing, he's trying to keep the left wing from working so well.
So then I can see the pusher activates, right? So it pushes the yoke forward.
Yes, it pretty much yanks it out of his hands.
Yeah, so that's what saved them in this case. So they had the speed, and the aircraft didn't nosedive, and then it just built up speed.
I mean, he only gained about 5 knots there. I just think he unloaded the wing enough to.
Yeah, exactly. That saved their life. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, this is the exception to the rule. Generally, when Bombardier products depart, they depart.
Yeah.
They don't come back.
Okay, so I have another example there. So minus 3 degrees outside temperature, no precipitation, reported wind speed calm, aircraft was not de-iced, wing anti-ice is off, we just talked about this. Flaps were 8, so not much flaps. And VER is 140 knots. So
yeah, that's a Challenger 850 or a CRJ 200, basically the big Challenger.
Yeah. So again, a little bit left aileron input. So there comes the rotation. It does a fairly slow rotation, 3.5 degrees per second, and that's it. Yeah. So they were not able to recover from that.
This was a CRJ 100 ER. This was Belavia Airlines.
Okay.
And I do believe my notes on this, everybody survived. They went off the side of the runway with the aircraft rolling right.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if you play the animation, if I have the right one.
Yeah. So again,
that one's
counteracting with the right aileron input, trying to stop the roll, but and the rudder pedals as well. Shaker, but that's it. Already stalled, and the aircraft slams down onto the ground.
Yeah, does it slam down and then go to the right on this one?
Well, it stops,
this one goes to the left.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we have one more animation. So that's minus 6 degree, dew point minus 7. So quite a humid situation. The aircraft was de-iced and anti-iced 30 minutes before takeoff. So this is more a holdover time issue in this case. And they had the 1 centimeter snow and blowing snow and 10 knots crosswind from the right. Now you have to realize that crosswind or windy conditions do have an effect on holdover times, because it does blow, depending on the fluid type, it does blow that fluid slowly off the wings. And a nasty thing is it could do that unevenly. Wind upward side and wind downward side.
Yeah,
so,
and again, wing anti-ice off.
Yeah. Flaps 20 heavyweight, mid-CG, and wing anti-ice off. Yeah, that's wing anti-ice, WAI, wing anti-ice. So again, aileron input to the right, counteract the crosswind.
This was a position flight from Moscow to Berlin
Okay.
in February of '07. And registered airplane.
So very quick rotation again, and yeah, left wing dips, right. Oh wow. Yeah, that's already enough to cause nightmares. Blimey. Yeah, so they didn't get to a very high pitch angle. It just stalled straight away. Yeah, full right aileron input, then the other side. Already departed flight. That's incredible. Yeah, well, that demonstrates that it's not a joke. You know, these things can kill you very quickly if you're not careful.
Yeah, you'll see the Bombardier crews on the ramps will typically be getting sprayed in situations where maybe other manufacturers aren't.
Yeah.
We're very conservative with this.
Things that I've witnessed in my time regarding some airlines, you know, de-icing and others don't. Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is. I honestly don't understand what goes through the minds of those pilots, those captains and co-pilots that accept an aircraft that has clear contamination on it and they still depart. I just do not understand it.
So like that Russian A320 that just departed with snow on the wing that just blew off as they were rolling down the runway.
Yeah. I can only assume in that case, I mean, these, like, you know, they operate obviously up to minus 60 degrees Celsius. That's temperature on the ground, right? So they have the kind of experience. But even then, I mean, how can you predict that, you know, below that snow cover there's, you know, no ice, or, you know, that blows off on the takeoff run? It's a lottery. So
yeah, it's with the problem with experience is that it can be wrong, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
And it doesn't matter that 200 times before that you were right. That doesn't count. Only the times that you were wrong count.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I always see the responsibility that I hold, you know, as a PIC, and, you know, so cost or time, you put all that aside. That doesn't matter in this case. The top priority is always a safe flight from A to B. That has the highest priority. Yes, it's a nuisance if you are delayed because of that, and, you know, passengers miss their onward flights, but at least they live, right? And I always assume they when they buy their ticket, their main concern is also safety. Of course, they're concerned about getting from A to B on time, but I still assume that their main priority is to get there safe and sound. Well, Max, I mean, yeah, I'm aware of that, you know, especially in corporate flying, maybe there's a lot of pressure being put on the pilots to save dollars. But, I mean, yeah, it just doesn't make sense to compromise safety in that manner. Right, I can see AJ already helping me out with the flight plan.
Yeah, I'm just I have the pressurization dialed up so we don't get behind that. Just get some stuff in.
You remember
doing my co-pilot stuff while
perfect.
While you manage the rest.
Perfect. So these are one of the things, guys. If you haven't done shared flight, I mean, that's something you will experience. And, you know, as you practice shared flight and you organize the workload in the cockpit and enjoy just the fun of it, and then you realize at some point, wow, this is so cool. I'm actually a lot more relaxed. So if you haven't tried it yet, please do so. Yeah, Max, thank you.
So
Black-
BB,
yeah.
just full disclosure here. Max is actually he's a Challenger pilot, and
Cool.
we fly together. So
Oh,
he's,
perfect, Max.
And
GG.
he's about to try shared cockpit for the first time. We're going to set up a stream where
nice.
2 Challenger pilots try to forge our way through this.
Oh, give me a shout when you're doing it, and I'll try to get across if I'm at home.
Yeah, it should be a good time. So he's a real world Challenger pilot, but he's not really a flight simmer. So this is going to be a great look at his reaction to what Hotstart's put together here on X-Plane. So that's going to be cool.
I think he will be in awe. He will love it. Blackbox, have you seen the Tupolev getting de-iced by a man with a watering can while attached and hanging from a crane? No. Blimey, God.
Oh, let me find you the video. You'll love it.
Oh, no. Hang on, let me just grab that. Just need to make sure that I don't show you the advertisement. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay, guys, so oh my God. Who has these kind of ideas?
What is this? What are they doing?
Just keep watching, AJ.
Okay.
Keep
Oh wow,
watching.
okay. All right. Now it suddenly became clear to me, and it looks Russian.
Even that guy standing on that engine, if he slips and falls off, I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, our occupational safety and health folks would not approve of this.
Yeah, it's not type 1, type 2, or type 4. It's type room de-icing.
Wow.
He does not look that relaxed if I'm looking at him. The way he hangs there.
Just wait to see what he does, AJ, when he comes
I hope
up
he
there.
has safety glasses on.
And I hope he gets paid lots of money for doing that.
Yeah, what is he going to do up there?
You'll see.
Okay.
He's certainly not just going to look at it.
No.
I'm sure this is the co-pilot.
Yeah, I'm sure that's type 4 fluid.
Wait. Oh, you have to be kidding me. Wow.
So how much was he able to de-ice that with that little can? Like, not even 3 square feet or something?
It's gonna be a long run back to get more. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. By that time, but it's frozen again by the time he gets back. For the context, this airplane landed at the wrong airport. Well, I mean, that's tough luck, isn't it? It still added up the top there. God.
I mean, that though doesn't mean that you cannot get de-icing trucks from another airport, right? Unless he landed at, like, I don't know, 1,000 kilometers away from the nearest airport.
Yeah, but it does attract a lot of media attention, that's for sure.
Look, I know one of our consultant pilots who flies from a somewhat smaller airport. They regularly have to have trucks coming over on the highway to de-ice them from the big airport nearby. But it's not the end of the world to try it there.
Yeah.
It still drives.
Oh my God. Vinny, hang on. This Tupolev did an emergency landing at a closed airfield. A few months later, they got the problem fixed and it was really figured out, but the field naturally didn't have de-icing vehicles. Well, I mean, like Toto said, I mean, could you drive some de-icing vehicles? If it took that long to repair the aircraft, I mean, why not have some vehicles ready by that time? Yeah, they're trucks in the end of the day, I mean. Oh my God. All right, cool. So, top descent is in 50 miles, 6 minutes. I'm falling behind. So, AJ.
I have some great news for you.
Yeah, shoot.
The winds now at Telluride, from what I see, real world, are 260 at 11, gusting 14. But it is 10 miles and clear, -1.
Okay, so we're definitely to circle.
Yeah.
Right. So, let me see. So, first of all, airport. Right, cold temperature table. Now, this is one of the things in XP12 that is actually simulated. Cold temperature effects.
And the FMS can do corrections for you on the instrument approaches.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And so what we have, 7,100 feet runway. And so we said we want to opt for the Zulu 9 with the circling. And it says, so cold temperature, altitude correction required at below minus 18 C. But I think you said something around 1 degree.
You're -1. You're fine on that, and
Yeah.
you're going to be able to see it's good VFR according to this.
Yeah. So
Your challenge is just going to be circling visually at Telluride.
yeah. So the elevation is 9,000 feet. We said.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, considering the elevation of the airport, -1 is above ISA. That's ISA plus.
Thank you for
Yeah.
your kind
Oh, that's true.
donation.
Yeah, you're right.
And please join us on the captain's table.
So if anything, if you correct it, you'd be correcting down.
Wow, that's so mind twisting, but you're right. Yeah.
Hello BB, I would like to take advantage of this space to ask Mr. Toto if he has in mind developing the A320 for MSFS. I
Wow,
would be
your,
willing to
your
pay any
LFL,
price for the plane.
You missed it by 4 feet, so I can fix that for you. Your factored landing distance is 69.15.
Oh,
and
okay.
Your available landing distance is 69.11. I'm
Oh,
sure
wow.
you're going to be a little bit lighter than.
Yeah.
You're going to be a little lighter now. If you want to consider slope, landing west is 0.4% downhill.
Okay.
But you'll notice in the Challenger, you'll notice in the approach page, there is no input for slope.
Yeah.
So slope isn't actually in the performance charts. There's actually some swags in the QRHs
Okay.
that gives you some general guidance, and then there's FAA guidance. But just something to consider. What I'm trying to say is this is going to be interesting.
Okay. I'm up for the challenge. If in
Okay.
doubt, we'll go
It
around.
It is the Challenger.
Yeah. Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How's our pressurization doing, BB? It looks like altitude. It's a pressure altitude of 8,000 now.
Currently 8,000. Yeah, going up.
Yes, it's going to keep you at 8,000 because you're landing at a high elevation airport.
Yes.
And then below flight level 250, it's going to climb up.
Okay, cool.
I'm
Let me.
glad we brought a flight engineer.
Yeah. Let me just quickly get in here to Diego, who donated €3. Thank you, Diego, for the support. And he writes, I would like to take the advantage of this space to ask Mr. Toto if he has in mind developing the A320 for Microsoft Flight Sim. I would be willing to pay any price for that plane.
We'll see. We'll try and keep it as generic and portable as possible. I'm actually going to make it even more portable than the Challenger already. And we'll keep that option open. Not sure yet. Initially as X-Plane is basically because that's what I'm comfortable developing for. And I'll see about MSFS.
Yeah.
I can't put guarantees on that though,
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, for the reasons we've mentioned many times on the streams regarding Microsoft Flight Sim. But that's a very good answer. Diego, thank you so much. Hope you're happy with that answer. Okay, so when ready, we'll descend initially 200. Thank you, Diego. And 15 miles top drop. So the MSA is 15,500. And if I remember correctly, there was no star for Telluride.
Correct.
No, it's just approach plates. Okay. So it looks like the lowest we can go by cones is 13,000. So we'll check with our routing and the grids to get us down slowly. Yeah, grid highest I can see right now is 13.3. So yeah, we should be fine. 20,000 initially.
I'm doing a quick. The airport sits on a bit of a tabletop alongside of a ravine. The terrain Most of the terrain will be on our approach, on this Zulu approach, the RNF Zulu. And then once you get over to the airport, things kind of flatten out. And I would almost say you'd be good to almost do like a right downwind base to final. If I were going to do a visual circle at Telluride.
Yeah, it's of course not authorized at night and not authorized north of runway 0927. I mean, that's looking at the picture there, that's obvious. So
Yep. All the terrain is north.
yeah. So it says circling is at 11,640. So if we round up 11,700, so that puts us at a good 2,600 feet above the
So if you want, I could set up a visual to runway 26 in the secondary flight plan.
That'd be cool,
So
yeah.
you can navigate on this instrument approach down to your circling mins, and at the point where you break off, I'll go ahead and activate the secondary and get you a nice right base to I don't know, 3 or 4 mile final. Your choice. You know,
Perfect.
whatever
Yeah,
you
sure,
want.
yeah. I'll watch
could-
you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Perfect.
see how that goes.
Okay, and we're descending 20,000 initially. So secondary flat plan.
And as usual, feel free to make liberal use of fixed rings for distance estimations.
Yeah.
What do we have, like 5 passengers?
Yep. Exactly.
All right. This stuff isn't really that important right here. All right.
Well, AJ, are you already planning the emergency call for the Souls number?
Yeah, and I have no idea what to say as far as fuel on board. All right, it's runway 27. How long of a final are you going to want, BB, when you get? I mean, the weather's good, so
Yeah.
visibility's not a concern.
Well, so the good thing is that since both of us have no experience going into Telluride, but normally I have my 3 miles, which gives me about 900
Probably a
feet
bit.
above the.
That's probably just a bit tight, though. I don't know if you want to get nice and stable.
Yeah. So that's one
yeah.
one kind of window would be 3 miles, 900 feet above the threshold, and then I guess 5 miles if we stay within 5 miles.
I'll leave it at 5, and I'm not gonna go crazy drawing a bunch of. I could show the folks how to do that with index circles to keep yourself in protected airspace, but I wouldn't really call this a real legit circle. This is more of a visual maneuver after the approach. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead with a 5 mile final, and then once we break out, I'll get this activated and get you on a nice right base, and you'll have a nice VNAV path right down to the runway. You should be able to let the automation roll if we do this right until you're on final.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
In theory.
Yeah. That sounds good.
All in theory.
Just be mindful of the fact that there might be terrain on the approach to 27, mostly to the south of it. So
Yeah.
don't make it too loose.
I'm looking at Google. Doesn't look horrible, but yeah, you're definitely right. Not a lot of prep has gone into this. I don't know how many people will do this.
Yeah, if you go to chart on JAP 19-01, it's going to give you an overview of the terrain situation. And there is about 2 runway lengths worth to the southeast of room, and then not much more than that. Then you're getting into the 12s and 11,000 contour lines.
What chart is that, and what
19-01 on ref.
is that under airspace?
It will be in the reference section. So I don't know what charts you're looking at. Are they indexed the same?
I'm on the MFD approach airport.
Okay. I see. So that'd be probably under airport.
There it is, 19-01. Just so everybody can check this out.
Yeah. So I've got in on the Avi tab. I can see that 1901.
Yeah, I can't get that one. I can't get that one to come up, Toto.
I got you. Well, VB is reviewing it on the tablet on the side.
Too. Oh, good.
Oh.
He's driving, so it's important that he sees it.
Yeah.
And I can look at 5 miles from the runway where that's going to put you on ForeFlight. It's right there.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe you have to stay a little bit within 5, but I mean, at least I have a good view then.
Well, let's do this. I'll just let's compromise. How about 4?
Yeah, sounds good as well.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full disclaimer. This isn't really a realistic, real-world scenario that we're flying right now. Simulation purposes only.
Yeah. That's always a good.
I mean, in real life, you would have planned this before you left the ground.
Yeah.
You'd
There
be
would
in
have
the
been
office.
a lot to go into this. Yep.
So total distance to KTEX straight in would be 90 miles. And we only have to lose another 20,000 feet, so yeah, we should be fine.
Yeah, it's the tricky part about Telluride. It's so high up that it comes a lot sooner than you might think.
Wrong vertical turbulence in the area of the mesa edge.
Okay.
Rising terrain all quadrants.
We'll see. Actually, that's an auto, isn't it? Yeah.
U7 has a PAPI on the left side, and it's 4 degrees. Good to know. This is where what would be cool is if you could set your reference, your descent reference line on the HUD to 4 degrees. That helps a lot.
Okay.
But we can't do that yet in the sim. I think that's coming soon.
So we have another 65 miles to cones, but we only have to lose another like 12, 13,000 feet to there. That's fine.
On FMS3, I have the airport. It's counting down direct distance to it.
Yeah. So 76 miles now. Okay. Cool. Right, so for the approach then, so 13,000 at the cones VR, we'll step down to 12.9, only 100 feet, and the final ascent is out of Chepma, and 3.6 degrees almost, 3.59, but we only have to lose like 1,300 feet, 1,200 feet to get to circling minimums. So we're flying.
Yeah, I think I have that. I have that set on your PFD under refs. It should be set for 11,640.
Let's have a look. Yeah, 11,630. Yeah, it's fine. Baro, perfect. Yeah. And yeah, we'll just fly pattern. There's a little bit of a hill at 10,109 feet elevation. Hay Street. Yeah, exactly. AJ is with me, Real World Challenger 650 pilot, and Toto, of course, the developer of the Hotstart Challenger. Yeah,
so if I may suggest, it's not as smart as an Airbus, so it's not going to enter decel mode when you start the approach. So you might want to put a manual speed constraint somewhere along the approach to slow you down early, because you're starting the approach at like 13,000. That's not even 250. limit. So it will blast down at 280 knots, and suddenly you're 2,000 feet above the airport doing 300 knots, and
that's
stuff is going sideways real fast.
That's a good point. So let me put 220 knots at Cones then, and I'll aim for 170 knots.
Great. That looks great.
Yeah, that's a good input. Yeah, perfect.
The other thing to chat about here, BB, is since we're going to, fly an approach and then transition into a visual maneuver to 27, is how you can configure the aircraft.
Yeah.
Normally for straight in we fly a flaps 45 approach, but since we're not, we might want to do flaps 30 gear down. Yeah. Until we come back around to 27.
Yeah, and until we have like landing is short and we finally descend towards the threshold. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, gear down and flaps 30 for the circling part. Okay, cool. Sounds like a plan.
Notice that this is the new TERPS circling protected area criteria. So,
welcome aboard the Captain Black Box
there's no
Cat D experience. Could new subscribers please make their way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks,
we'll get the airport side will be cleared for the visual approach, but we wouldn't be able to maneuver and stay. There's no way to stay Cat C at this altitude.
Yeah.
I think above about 10,000 feet, even the Challenger at flaps 45 is up in Cat D.
Okay.
But the protected airspace for Cat C above 9,000 feet is only 3.3 nautical.
Wow.
So
okay. That's tight. Yeah.
Just a small note. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So if I was going to do that, I'll throw something in. I'll just throw it in off the threshold of 2.7.
Yeah, that's would be a good thing if you kind of in the circling once you turn base. You just give me sporadically a quick shout to how many miles we have the threshold.
Sure.
That would help me out a lot, yeah. And Street, thank you so much for gifting us up to Pancake King. That's really kind of you. Thank you so much. Okay, so we talked about the grid. That's safe, so we should be good to go down to 13,000 now. And the current altimeter... Just check that.
I think that was like 30, 14?
Yeah, 13, something like that.
Yeah. The last I have on ForeFlight was 3014.
Okay, we'll go with that then, yeah. 1314 is free
so I'm going to set that. I'm going to get that ready right now.
Okay, so if we go missed... very likely we would go missed when we're inbound to the runway 27. And so safest course is visual, isn't it? So safest course would be outbound on reciprocal to the inbound course. So 276 to Chetma. And then to Cones. Cones will go into the holding. And we'll climb up to 13,000 again to get safe.
So since we'll be circling, the nice thing is that once we get lined up with 27, we're pointed in the right direction for the published mist. So I'll have a lot of work. I'll have a lot of work to do at that point. So my day rate is going to go up significantly to get you back off the secondary flight plan.
Yeah,
that's one of the downfalls of transitioning to the secondary, is that you're going to lose your published mist. So I could actually throw that into the secondary. I'll put SEPMA and ETL in.
Perfect. That will help. Yeah.
It might also make sense, I guess, to tune ETL manually on the nav radios and bring up a bearing pointer.
Yeah, 10-2. Yep. Let me do that first while we're talking about it.
You can enter it by ID as well.
Well, I already had it on the brain.
Okay.
What's your opinion on adding some custom waypoints to contribute circular approach? Well, whatever helps you. So the important thing is that you have some helpers to keep you orientated, especially at lower kind of visibility settings.
Yeah. So just to be clear on something though, this is not being flown as an instrument circle.
No.
Not to you, but just to the. That was suggested in my stream too. There would be a lot of preparation we would do on this approach and then incorporate stuff like that. We wouldn't probably do that on the descent through 17.
Yeah,
Oh,
I wouldn't.
and,
Yeah, I wouldn't kind of make my own nav routing, and then fly it according with LNAV. I wouldn't do that. So it's still a visual approach. So if anything, I would go with heading or track. But kind of just a visual representation to kind of help you to maybe identify some turning points. Why not? And Cabo, hey V Chris, how you doing? Okay, so we're slowly reducing the speed. Good. Anything else, AJ, that you were concerned about? Apart from higher elevation, higher true air speeds, higher ground speeds.
I'm going to go through the checklist here in a second. I do have the cones is set in both nav radios. We could throw our needles up. That was a good idea from Toto.
Yeah.
I have to get you your speeds, so let me figure those out for you here.
Okay, I'll try and get the needles in.
We are going to be landing at a weight of about 15 point.
Bearing source button.
15.4 BB.
Yeah. So.
The other cool thing you can do on the approach ref page when you're circling is right now you have wind components for runway 9, but since we're going to be coming around for runway 27, you can just drop in an RW 27 right here in approach ref page 1. So you get valid wind components and valid data for landing distance.
All right.
A little detail, you're below transition level.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, I went to 3014. Sorry, baby, I should have said.
Oh, good. So 3014 checked 15.2.
That checks 3014 coming through 15.1 now.
Checked.
And let me put that in the center for you on the ISI. 3014 is set now 3 times.
Thank you. Haley.
And I've got your lights on. I flowed through some stuff. I'll get to the checklist here in a second.
Perfect. All right.
So, yeah, it looks like you're 15,000, but you're already just 5,000 feet above the airport. You know, gotta get going on that in range check and everything, because you're essentially at the initial waypoint of the approach.
Yep.
I'm built in. Pack sign should be on. Pressurization set. Quantity and balance. You happy with the fuel, BB?
Yeah, I am happy with the fuel.
Yeah, and as far as your speeds go, you're looking at flaps 45 ref is 131. All right, so your flaps 30 gear down speed, if you want to do it per the FCOM, would be plus 17, so call it 48. I just rounded up to 150.
Okay.
Until you're landing assured, then 131.
Okay, that's copied. 150, 131. Okay.
All right. The approach brief will call complete, and the transition level we're already QNH of 3014, and we're coming below 15. I'm gonna go ahead and do some housekeeping, get some things set up for you as far as EPUs and stuff like that.
Perfect. So, passing cones, sending 12.9.
Yep, we'll probably want to get some drag out and get slowed down here.
Alright, so flaps 20.
Flaps 20? Roger. Flaps selected 20. APU, Jen and Bleeds are on and set. Altimeters 3014s. We'll call our avionics set. Secondary flight plan standing by. Your lights are on. Your N1 TGT set to 91. APU and packs are transitioned. APU gens on. CAS is checked. The before landing checklist is next.
So the field is on that plateau there. We'll circle here. That should be the little 10,100 foot peak there. And we'll go a little bit right of that for the circling. Okay, 12.9. We're coming up to something. Let's have gear down, please.
Gear is selected down.
I'll dial in 11.7 for the circling.
Yeah, you should be able to dial it right down to the circling MDA.
Yeah. So So that's 11.7 and. Well, so
Give it
six...
another. Give it.
Oh yeah,
give it
you're
a-
right.
there you
6:30. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
it's 6:40. I missed it by 10 feet. Let's just call that good because we're getting busy.
And flaps 30.
It's flaps selected 30. Any skids checked. And it's time to get some things done. The reversers are armed.
And we'll start the send down. I'll do that with vertical speed just for simplicity.
That's better. I had to go into my instructor panel and get rid of the clouds because all I saw was white.
Okay. Oh, we're fine now.
That's fixed.
Yeah,
I'm
so
with
I've
you.
got clear skies. Yeah, yeah, I can see the runway straight in there. So if you're okay with it, I'll go and head out to the pattern and heading select. Visual with terrain, the runway.
Yeah, once you're in heading, just let me know. Are you in heading now?
Yeah, I'm in heading now.
Right.
So for the missed approach... Oh no. Oh no, I crashed. So, let's see. Can you pause your sim or...
Yeah, it'll pause. You can restart. Just pick it up, and he'll
Oh,
automatically
I think that it crashed it when I went to that secondary.
Okay.
Huh.
Last thing I did was I went to the RX-27, and as soon as I hit execute, things got weird.
Huh. Interesting.
But that's okay because it saves the state. So, right?
Yes.
Yeah, guys,
It's a
don't... Yeah.
beautiful thing about this.
The chat is going, no, but don't worry. We'll get it set up really quickly. Toto has thought of that as well. So I would go...
Yeah, just resume last flight.
Yeah. And we'll get to the menu.
I have to rejoin, right, Toto?
Nope. You'll reconnect immediately as soon as
Oh, okay.
BB is back
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Now that's how pros do it.
Might want to leave that secondary flight plan alone this time.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah,
debug and figure
I
out
have-
what's...
I'll do it the other way. I'll just throw it in the active real quick.
Sure thing. Yeah, I've done a lot of work with Direct on this update, so there might be lingering issues there. Sorry that you had to hit one.
No worries, no worries.
That's all right.
For the go-around procedure, can I hit a button or... let's see, I'm not sure if I've modeled Toga.
Yeah, just
Yeah, if you don't have it mapped, I do.
Okay.
You say it, I'll press it.
So restore position trajectory,
Yep, exactly.
And
Just
just-
hit fly.
fly, wow. Confirm, yeah.
It would be cool in the real world to get an intermission like this right here.
Yeah, exactly. Get a cup of tea. So we'll just let it load. There it is. Okay, so scenery has loaded in. We're just about to break off on the heading. We'll allow.
Okay, I thought I was with you for a second.
So we're still paused.
Yeah, just on pause and it'll...
Oh, that's why.
So let me know when you...
I'm still looking at connection lost. So, hold on.
Maybe try another...
Photo, if it won't restore the connection... Oh,
2500.
never mind. It just takes a second. I'm back with you now.
Perfect.
I see an airport out in front of us.
Yeah.
It looks like Telluride.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're going to start
Approaching
circling.
minimum.
Yeah. Turning right now.
Your
heading
auto throttles,
is off.
just
Yeah.
so you know, your auto throttles did come off.
Can you
Uh,
reconnect?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. It's
Cool.
170. There's your N1. And I just selected them back on,
Minimum.
okay?
Perfect. Right. Minimum
Alright,
is...
flaps 30, gear down 150, I think is what we
Yeah, exactly.
talked about.
So right
Yep,
there.
and I'm gonna
Okay.
get you I'm gonna do something you would not want to do in real life. I'm gonna bury my head in the FMS while you're maneuvering in terrain. I think that's a good idea.
Right, if you're okay with it,
2500.
I'd rather go manual flight, just get a feel of the aircraft.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, manual flight. Just so I get the trims right. Cool. Oh, crashed again.
It did?
Yeah.
That time was when I put in the 4-degree path. Huh. That was with the active flight.
Are we sure it's flight plan related and it's not something to do with the terrain?
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah, I'll leave it to you.
Shall I quickly, guys, I'm going to put you on intermission there real quickly. Shall I send you the log file? Although I need to close it.
Well, you've already restarted, so the log file's been rewritten, so that's okay. Just go ahead and, with no editing of the flight plan, I wonder if it's something terrain related. That would be a bit of a bummer.
Well, so when we come back this time, do you want me to just not do anything and just let BB just do it the old-fashioned way?
Yeah, just do it the old-fashioned way, and we'll see. I wonder.
Okay.
Because if Ben crashes again, that's definitely scene related. Yeah. So resume last flight. Yeah, Chester, it's hey, how are you doing? Yeah, it's a built-in shared flight feature. So when you buy the Challenger 650 Hotstart, it comes with it.
It even comes with Toto. He flies with everybody. Like. It really is like having a flight tech on board. It's very nice for.
I mean,
situations.
There is Toto co-pilot with it, yeah. So it's not a lie.
Right.
Okay.
You know, it's funny because the level D sim from the training centers, they take some time also to reset. You know, whenever we're moved around. So what's happening right now isn't completely unrealistic in a training scenario.
Yeah. And the real sims, they crash as well, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to give it a little bit of, you know, like right now it's kind of coming back on my end, but you just have to not touch it for a little bit, let it do its thing. It said it was just paused on your side.
So we'll unpause. So speed mode is active, autopilot is off. Okay, so
I canceled that last mod.
So 3 times. Is it Charm? Can you deset the speed mode, please?
Say again. What would you like?
You want ATS off?
Yeah, ATS off. Yeah.
Oh, ATS off. Oh, there you go. There you go. So yours.
And you said
and
150. Yeah, 150 on the speed.
2500.
150. Yeah, baby. There you go.
Perfect. All right. So we put the range rings in there. I think I put a 3 mile in there, and you put a.
I think it was like 3.3. That was just the protected airspace.
Okay.
For category C, but you're looking out the window. You're completely visual. I don't think we need that.
Yeah.
2500.
You need the range down.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Can you just 1 notch for range down? That'd be cool.
Range down. Okay, stand by. Go to DCP.
Minimums.
And should be.
Perfect.
Am I going the wrong way? Yeah, there you go.
So I'm not sure. It looks like from the video from from Max, he was a bit closer to the field, I think. Although we like pretty much 3 miles now. And then I think you already descended a little bit more.
Good night.
Lee, no worries. Thank you so much for watching. But
yeah, you're just under 3 mile. You're like 3 miles from the airport on the left downwind. So you're in a circle. The gear is down 3 green, by the way. If you could just confirm 3 green, so I hear you say it.
Yep, 3 greens.
No steering should be armed center. Your tiller should be clear. Anti-skid I tested. Signs are on.
2500.
Wings and cowls aren't required. Ignition I've got on. Reversers are armed. Spoilers are retracted. The flaps, we're at flaps to go once you're landing assured.
Okay.
Are you done with the flight director, baby?
Yeah, please off. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably a bit distracting.
So you can see the issue right now with the circle. You got higher terrain, so you can't really ascend much. And we're still 2,000 almost above
1,000.
the 1,000. Yeah, it's above the landing threshold. So we still have to lose some altitude.
175 true. You're doing 166 across the ground.
Pull up.
Disregard.
Pull up.
That's it. Yeah, JetWiz is yelling.
Okay, so let's put, what is it, 137 or something for the approach?
Yeah, coming back.
Flaps 45.
45 selected.
And we'll try to get down, so get aligned with the runway.
Yeah, the ref is 131, so you're maneuvering right now, so I'm going to give you ref. That's 141. I wouldn't get much slower than that up here.
Okay. So trying to go forward a bit high, so...
And you're just inside 3 miles to the airport.
Yeah. So what
Probably a
would...
bit higher.
Yeah, so correcting, try not to get above 1,500 feet per minute. So... a bit fast as well. Wow, that's very high actually.
Yeah.
Not going to be able to make it that
Problem.
way. Okay, so we'll go around, flaps 30.
Okay. Alright, go around as flaps 20, BB.
Oh, flaps 20 then,
So-
alright.
20, and once you start getting the nose up, we'll call this positive climb now. Ready for gear?
Gear up.
Gear's coming up. I'll crank your speed up for you.
Right, so...
200 knots, and you know, do another pattern? What do
Yeah.
you want to do here?
Yeah, we'll do another
Okay.
pattern now.
Okay,
So
Actually,
let's-
12,000? 11,000?
yeah,
is-
11...
I've got 11,000 set.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yeah, your flaps 20, your gear's up.
That's why I'm staring at the wind indicator here over the runway. It's actually a headwind if you're coming in on runway 9, so might be if you want to do a straight in, it would be possible.
Yeah. So really, from that experience, you would have to really kind of stick to the terrain, really kind of follow it, a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, and avoiding that JetWiz call, it's definitely you're threading a needle.
Yeah.
I didn't get any JIP-whiz calls. I don't know if that's a function of shared cockpit. I got nothing.
Huh. It should have called.
It was actually pleasant. I enjoyed it. Because I was anticipating there would be a lot.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do one more. We've got a few, one more, and if that doesn't work out,
Okay.
then we'll do the opposite. If you're good on time.
Boy, I sure wish I could give you that. The approach. I'm just afraid I don't want it to lock up again.
Yeah, no worries. All right, so gear down.
All right, gear's coming down.
$2,500.
And speed back 150 again, please.
And speed back to 150, flaps 30,
30,
I
yep.
think you're about to say.
Yep.
There you go. Gear down, 3 green, confirm.
Yeah, confirmed 3 green.
Alright, the skid is checked, the ignition is on. Tower says you're clear to land.
We'll try. Right, trying to get back into the 3-mile range
down,
there.
3 green. Yep, so the gear's down, 3 green, nose steering is armed, centered cleared, any skid was tested, packs are still sitting, wings and cowls are still not required. The ignition's on, the reversers are armed, the spoilers are retracted, and we're at flaps 30, hold in there.
Right, I need to rewatch Max's approach here, see what he did different, because he nailed the approach.
Well, and that's part of coming to a place like this. It's a challenging circle. Is that you would do all that research and you would have it all planned. So, yeah, that's not unrealistic either.
Yeah, you'd make your notes and.
But one of the cool things is for those of us that fly this platform, if we did get an airport like this, I would be doing this same thing, learning the area around the airport and, just learning and planning.
Yeah. Look out for some key points to, to get visual on turning points.
I guess in a sense you're doing Telluride training right now. You're chair flying it.
Yeah.
Yep.
so a little bit lower than we were initially, but yeah, the issue comes with the terrain on the other side there. Well,
It's tricky, isn't it? It's just in the way.
Yeah, it's always like I remember that approach into splits, for example, when you descend into rising terrain. That is, you just feel so uncomfortable doing that.
Well, just you know, you want to be what about 10,000 feet at the 3-mile ring.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's
right. So, you know, doing it without all of our fancy automation, that's really what you're gonna have to start shooting for. And with the HUD, this is where the HUD really shines, because you'd be able to see a nice descent reference line as you roll out on final. You can immediately start to tell, am I higher or am I low? Otherwise, I have to give you some better callouts.
All right, so I'm going to hug the terrain this
2500.
time. So we'll just stay within the 3 miles.
Just don't hug it too closely.
Yeah, no. I don't want to touch the trees. No, that's true. Okay, but I'll tell you what we'll do now is we're going to go with flaps 45, please, and 137 knots.
140. It's 131 is your ref. I'm going to give you 141 for the maneuvering buffer.
Cool. Yeah, there we go. Got a bit of ballooning.
1,000.
1,000.
Terrain.
Yeah, so you're coming through 11 now. Keep it coming down. So turn final, you're at 10. As soon as you cross the ridge line, your visuals might be a little different actually, but
500.
So now 500.
Sync rate. Terrain.
yeah, we're 300 feet radar altimeter over that ridge.
Okay. So I just need to see the threshold there. Right. So let's continue down.
All right, the flaps are set 45 and the CAS is checked. Close-in checks complete. Before landing check is complete. You're clear to land.
Thank you. Right.
Sync rate.
Yeah, correcting. So one thing here in the sim obviously is always the problem where you can't really see the runway very easily, but there we go. We've got 1 red, 3 white, so maybe this
You're
time.
coming up on the PAPI, and you're. I'm going to bring your speed back now to ref +5, 136. You're a little fast, but you're on glide path.
Slow down.
500.
A little fast, getting a little low.
Okay, correcting.
There you go. Ref 10.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Sorry, I'm a bit scared of the ground there. Come on. Let's go down. There we go. Do we have reverse?
Alright, you have 2 reversers out.
Braking.
And we're coming up on 100 knots.
Checked.
You have 3,000 feet of runway left, starting to go uphill.
Yeah.
There's 70. There's 60.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Well, the thing is, this is just so far out of my comfort zone with the descent rates, etc., etc. So it's a different form of flying.
It's funny is because the vertical scenery mismatch.
Yeah.
When we were on short final, the airport was going up and down, and all kinds of strange things were happening on my side.
All right. Yeah. So that's
It's really cool how they show the slope of the runway.
Yeah.
This is really neat.
Yeah. All right.
Visuals are good.
So it's weird how I checked the scenery order, but I thought it was correct, but it's just not showing up correctly on my screen here.
Yeah, and also BB's airport is flattened, so it's.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's why you had the vertical mismatch.
Oh, whereas mine is nice. Mine's actually nice and well, pretty realistic, I guess. Yeah, I'm looking at the stream now. You have a much nicer runway, BB.
Okay.
Much nicer runway.
All right. Well, I mean, the main focus was today, obviously, also on the icing side of the Hotstart Challenger 650. And well, AJ, you always feel sorry for my co-pilots because they are having to do so much work while I'm just flying the aircraft.
We just kept crashing the sim, so that gave me less to do. It kind of put a lot on you, actually, because you just had to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the hand flying is fine in the Challenger. I really love it. It's once you got it nicely trimmed, it flies beautifully. Okay, so what's next with the checklist?
soon as you clear the runway, I'll go ahead and do my thing.
Perfect. Man, but that really puts me in awe of Citation Max. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Citation Max on YouTube, but he also streams on Twitch from time to time, but on YouTube, check out his videos. And latest one was going into Telluride, so into this airport in real life. And he did the circling as well, so make sure check that out. That's incredible. Alright, we're just going to stop here.
All right, I got the lights set, the anti-collisions are off, the continuous ignition is off, the windshield heats are off, probes are off, wing cowls are off, spoilers, maybe just check they're stowed because my head's in the checklist. I'm using the paper checklist right now.
They are stowed,
Got the flaps up, ATC, TCAS, we're on the ramp, so that's coming to standby. The radar standby, we're up to the engine shutdown. So taxi light is, I got it, is off. Parking brake
is set.
You got the parking brake. Reverse thrust, looking for stowed.
They are stowed.
And we're up to Gen 1 and Gen 2, but first I always like to put up the AC synoptic, and with my laser pointer, we always say little green line.
Okay.
Because turn those two gens off.
Yeah.
That's
all
cool.
of us get dark.
We're up to Gen 1, Gen 2
are off.
All right, engine 2 shutdown.
2 shutdown. Hang on, just get that to idle properly, and then 2 shutting down.
All right, and I've got your pumps off, and this is where we're just going to look for the opposite fuel low pressure message. Right, fuel low pressure. I see it. So now we're up to engine 1 shutdown.
Engine 1 shutdown.
All right, the anti-ice is off. 14th stage. I'm going to deselect those. No steering, VB, if you can grab that.
Yep.
I got the beacon. Transponder is already in standby. And are we chocked?
We are chocked.
All right, then. Parking brake off at your leisure.
Brakes off.
Pack signs are off. And cabin diff? I see 0.1, so we're right there. Good. Nobody's going flying out the door today. All right, the engine shutdown checklist is complete. Securing's next to get the passengers on their way.
Let me get the taxi and then... Right. Do you already have a date set for the shared flight?
No, not yet. I'm going to get with Max and figure that out. Yeah, maybe we'll collaborate and I'll get with you on what works for you.
Please let me know.
Yeah.
I would love to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see his
I'll have that over with you in a
his
minute
reaction.
or two.
He has the rig
else?
pretty much set up now and up and running.
Always a pleasure. Take care.
We're ready to do it.
That's the difficult thing, really, getting things set up. But once that's done, that's fine.
Yeah, I built the machine and he picked it up here and took it home, and he just needed to get a monitor and he just needed to, do the basic control mappings. We've worked together to do all that, and I think we're in a good position to have some fun with this.
Yeah.
Maybe some first leg ideas. Maybe we can go to Aspen at night and circle in the snow. I thought that would be a good way to get them.
All right. Yeah.
Start them out easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I got good support, then I think I can handle it.
Yeah.
Sifim, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Right, so wait for the passengers to get picked up. Yeah, nice demonstration though of how the anti-icing and de-icing works here in the Challenger. I love the the animations with the fluid, and you can ride along in the de-icing truck. Absolutely fantastic features. HC Simulation, thank you much. AG Mike, hey. It feels like a carrier landing at Quito. Yeah, well, I mean, it was a bit unstable, too unstable for my liking, but we tried to get the aircraft down, really, so.
In my stream, I'm getting legality questions on what we just did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think that's, the bottom line is that basically we referenced an approach and then we were cleared for a visual. That wasn't an instrument circle.
Yeah.
But that generates lots of questions about the Challenger and Cat D, Cat C circling. Those are
Our
questions
ride
that
is
we've.
here. Thank you, Captain.
But
Always
you made a
such
good
pleasure
point.
flying with you.
You know, things to consider.
Have a nice rest of your day.
We're not at sea level, so we're much higher up. You know, turning radius a lot larger since you have a higher air speed and more ground speed. And yeah, interesting to kind of, you know, get reminded again that you also have to focus on these things if you fly to these very high airports.
And unfortunately, the Challenger, like some other business jet aircraft, one has the hard wing, so we have no slats, and two, the recommended circling configuration is flaps 30.
Yeah.
So you're ripping along. I think we were doing 175 true.
Yeah.
On that turn from base to final. So you're really ripping along. And could you circle flaps 45? Yes, you could. It's not. Bombardier finally actually just came out with a statement on that as part of the Truckee investigation, that the FCOM is just a manual that establishes recommended practices for operators to develop SOPs. But that doesn't mean, as long as you're not busting a limitation, you can't circle 45.
Yeah.
But the Challenger's not a great performer at flaps 45.
Yeah.
She's very draggy. You're going to need a lot of power. So
yeah, that's the thing. That's
lots of considerations.
Yeah. But that circling is definitely a big challenge. Something I would say unusual, especially for us flight simmers. But a lot of fun though.
Oh, what the deal was with the? Do you have real world weather set? Is that what you were flying? Because Toto pointed out that we actually had, I think, headwind going on 9.
It could be because of that. Initially, I did have live weather, but I guess maybe with the crash it reset to manual.
Maybe a desynced.
Oh no, it says right. It's real weather. But the weird thing is, it gives me 17 degrees and some really unrealistic kind of weather data.
Yeah, sometimes that explains a little bit prone to throwing a curveball.
So, what's the ASOS say right now? 11832. Well, not too big. I mean, little things, right? Little things. Pretty amazing how far we've come since Sublogic Flight Sim 2 in the mid-80s.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep saying that, and you know, now with the options to have shared flight here in the Challenger, and also some other aircraft that are coming along with shared flight quite nicely. Brilliant, really lovely.
Yeah, the shared flight is incredible. I can't say enough about the job Hotstart's done with just how seamless it is and how easy it is. Even with two crashes.
Yeah.
Look how quickly we were able to get back into it from where we were. It really was not a big event. It was a quick intermission.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, and resync nicely. Okay, so passengers are off. Shall we do the shutdown?
Do you want to? Should we go out and put pins in? Open a nose door?
Yep.
I could. All right. Oh, I could do that. You relax.
And grab the vacuum cleaner, clean the cabin.
Yeah.
Start wiping down the tables.
Imagine that you already you had an amazing kind of approach. You're so exhausted, and then you have to clean the cabin and get everything set up.
Oh yeah. AJ, break out the Windex.
Yeah, so Toto, thank you so much for hooking me up with AJ here. That's really kind. Learned lots of stuff today.
My pleasure. Yeah, I learned myself a lot of stuff. Wish it hadn't crashed.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Like I said, it's little things. And just that XP12 is still in parts in beta, I feel, so.
It is a very rushed release, that is true. But at least the autosave in the Challenger works.
Yeah.
Also an update today on X-Plane that I did.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
It is a very tiny update though. They
Nose door.
fixed some small memory leak or
Nose
something.
door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and not to forget to change the filter to the coffee machine. Yeah, absolutely.
So Toto, I can't get down low enough to get into the nose wheel well here. I don't know. why.
Interesting. Or
Try.
is nose doors open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it's not as low as I normally am. So
Could
Oh.
be
Yeah, scenery related, right?
scenery related, yeah.
yeah,
'Cause-
I'm making do.
Because in BB's stream, you're pretty much it there.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
I'll just walk through things. That's all. Oh, I can't. It won't let me. That's all right. All right. Oh well, I could see BB's up walking. From my perspective, he's about 9 feet tall. So-
Yeah, so definitely a scenery issue. I mean, that's maybe next time. You know, you could try to make sure that we have the same either freeware scenery or standard scenery or
Well,
something.
In fairness, I think we were introduced to one another about what
Yeah.
5 minutes before stream. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
just all things considered, things probably went pretty well.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, the pins are in those doors open, so we can
Perfect.
secure the thing. So
Thank you.
all right, emergency lights.
Purge the water system. Purge the sinks. I don't want to see no icicles coming out the tap.
You're opening yourself up to a lot of questions about if you've implemented that.
I know.
'Cause I'm sure everybody would like that.
And then they'll cry when their water pipes burst.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. All right. So emergency lights are off. AC/DC utility switch is off. Headsets. Well, I already
Off, yeah.
walked outside the airplane.
Yeah, mine's off as well.
Thrust reverser.
Flushable toilet win.
Thrust reversers are off. Chocks, I saw that they're in.
Yeah.
And you got the parking brake off. Hydraulic pumps are off. Navs and logos. Nav lights are off. We're up to that magic moment. The killers, the emergency lights, the hydraulics are all set. You ready for me to kill it?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're done vacuuming?
Yeah, perfect. Everything's
Okay.
clean.
Alright. Okay. Alright, the EPU gen is off. And packs are off, LCV tents are off. Waiting on the power fuel. Let it spin down a little bit.
Yeah.
AJ's channel, his latest video on YouTube is the EPU starts from within the aft equipment base, basically just looking at the firebox
Okay.
right by the APU.
The audio in that is far more exciting than anything.
Yeah.
Go ahead, BB.
Can you post me the link, please, on Discord or something? Or
Sure.
I'll get
All
it to
right.
viewers.
So APU masters off, and
There we go, guys.
so one thing, Toto, I need to send you the audio on if you don't have it is, and I think it's hydraulic related. If you shut the battery off before all the pressure's off, you get a loud clunk from the nose wheel well. When you turn that battery off, and it scares the living daylights out of whoever might be down there putting the pins in for that full immersive. Every CL650 I've flown has done that.
Ooh.
Pop-up
Really?
panels.
You mean with the nose wheel steering off?
Yeah, it's off. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll send you a video. But if you bleed off the hydraulic pressures, or you wait long enough for the pressures to relax, you won't get it.
Translation, then everybody basically is going to get it in the sim because nobody waits.
Yeah, like so I know right now if I turn that battery master off, it would go clunk, and if BB was out putting pins in the nose wheel, he would jump because when you hear a loud bang while you're in there,
Yeah.
it's loud. It scares you to death.
Yeah, you're gonna hit your head on the top for sure.
I mean, yeah, that nose door doesn't take any prisoners when it's closing.
No. Yeah. The video on my channel of the nose doors opening from inside, I guess was shown at a school recently as part of a career day for a pilot.
Mm.
And the kids really, they got a kick out of that, and I guess they were asking if we were dropping bombs. So,
Nice. Oh, lovely.
all right, the securing checklist, battery master's off. I shut the refueling panel off. We had that on for most of the flight. Don't tell anybody.
No.
Service lights are off, and pins and covers. BB, you should check out the
radar.
the nose equipment bay.
Oh yeah. Hang on, let me just.
Oh yeah, you can disconnect the battery.
Yes, this has to be done because I just saw the checklist item for service lights. And if we leave, there you go.
Let me just go. So
The clasp on the bottom of the radome, and then another one on the other side.
Okay.
If you want to look at the radome or radar.
Absolutely. There it is. And the lights as well. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, we've got the HID boom beam retrofit.
Wow.
And yes, there are more breakers in the forward equipment bay.
Oh yeah, there. Yeah.
Please don't pull those. Those are for things like the battery chargers. But the battery connection point is actually on the other side.
Yeah.
The black box you see, that is the battery compartment or the battery itself.
Okay.
And there is a connector on the back side of it that looks like a screw point.
Yeah.
If you click on that, it'll
right there.
Oh, it came off.
There you go.
And then?
Yeah, and that's it. That's the battery disconnected.
Okay, we do that for maintenance works.
For long-term parking.
Okay.
So if the airplane's going to be stopped for a few weeks, you don't want to come to a dead battery because there's still a little bit of stuff that is powered on the airplane even with everything off.
Yeah.
And if you came back, if you came back after 2-3 weeks, you might not be able to start the thing back up.
Well, it's not even a couple of weeks. So some of the things on that hot battery bus are the service light in the lav panel, or the the light in the pylon, or the service lights in the nose bay or in the aft utility bay. So the big one that'll bite you is if line crew services your lav after you've left the airport, and they leave that lav service panel open, the light comes on automatically and it stays on.
Oh yeah.
And that kills it overnight.
Oh yeah, that's the right pylon light. Yes.
I still hear TRUs on my side. Is that a function of just having those panels open, or is that something on the airport? Oh yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have a check in the if the shared cockpit system is transferring those correctly. Because if Black Box looks inside of the TRUs, their fans shouldn't be spinning. There's if you look into the black round things are the transformer rectifier units. So they have little fans in them.
Yeah.
Then once they are running, it'd be spinning. But no, they're off. Okay.
Yeah, they're off. Yeah.
So they're off on his side, just not mine.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to check why the sound isn't being transferred over.
Okay, and then I didn't have ground procs, so a couple of little things, but otherwise the Beta 6 seemed to be functioning fine.
At least it didn't fall apart completely.
Right.
So there we go, all hooked up, locked again. Perfect.
Well,
All
BB,
right.
thanks for having me along. Appreciate the invite.
Well, no, the pleasure's
Nice
all
to meet
mine. Thank you so much for having me, for looking after me so well.
And Otto
again,
watched us with his airplane, so that was good.
Yeah, so learned a lot of stuff again, and a nice demonstration of what the aircraft can actually do, and hopefully it'll animate a lot of people to try things out. That's what it's there for.
As long as those people don't try to take real challengers into Telluride circling, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think they saw how not to do it, so that's all good.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so AJ, big thank you again, and we'll stay connected, and I'll definitely look forward to seeing you fly with Max in the shared flights.
I'll let you guys know. All right.
Perfect.
Very good.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Toto, as well to you. See you again very soon. Yes, thanks so much very much for watching, for interacting, asking these cool questions. And I know a lot of you actually have the Challenger, so maybe for those on my Discord, yeah, feel free to hook up. Don't be shy. Ask ask people to join on a shared flight. Maybe we can even do a dedicated little channel on my Discord for that purpose. I can only offer as well, if you're not too shy, to come on the stream. And it's not about exposing anyone or making fun of anyone. It's just to have fun, to enjoy flying together and learning together. So for me here as pilot flying, I have the easy job, right? So the pilot monitoring has, as you saw that today and the other time with Toto, pilot monitoring has so much stuff to do. So that takes a lot of practice. But if you don't practice, well, you're never going to learn it. Could you teach how to calculate Zulu time in aviation? I mean, you need Zulu timetables, and then the only difficult thing is, summertime and wintertime. That's really what catches me out sometimes. But otherwise, that's not too difficult. Thanks so much, Gabriel. Thank you so much for the amazing support, for all the resubs and the donations. Thank you so much for everyone. And a big thank you to my moderators who, again, stayed up so late. I'm so sorry. So I'll see you again very, very soon on Friday, if you like. So Friday we'll do the next stream. And we'll see. I would think about going on a shared flight, maybe in the 319. We'll see if we can find somebody. All right, cool. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you again very soon. Good night, everyone.